Wow, things just get more and more explosive, more and more interesting. It was 2 weeks ago, they had another previous hoax that Trump said everybody coming from Haiti has AIDS or HIV. Of course, it turns out that wasn't true. The same anonymous sources, tell us that Trump didn't want to run for president, didn't want to win, that his wife hates it. The same sources told us he would lose the election. The same sources told us he'd throw it to Hillary. The same sources told us he wouldn't give us tax cuts. The same sources said he wouldn't try to reform the VA. The same sources said he wouldn't pull out of the TPP. The same sources said that he was going to sign DACA and screw us over. He just didn't go with their bad plan. He was just trying to do a deal. And he's still being attacked by the trolls and the bots on Infowars.com that we know are bots, saying Trump betrayed us on DACA when he didn't betray you on DACA, just as we said he wouldn't. And then someone in the Oval Office, there were other witnesses say he didn't say it, whispered to somebody going, why are we only getting people from you-know-what whole countries? And that's the other big controversy. Remember F. Lee Bailey, the famous corrupt lawyer, known for big problems, $1 million fines, you name it. Remember F. Lee Bailey on the O.J. Simpson trial? They had a white guy do it, get up and say the N-word over and over and over again to the black jury. And that's how they got him off. He said the N-word 41 times. I want to go to YouTube and grab it for documentary purposes. They aired it on Court TV, ABC, NBC. But I remember years later airing it on talk radio and the station manager coming and saying, you don't do that. And that's the big issue. CNN, MSNBC, broadcast, you name it, on CBS, ABC, they are saying every 10 minutes, they're playing the clip, sometimes every minute, of quoting the president when he says he didn't say it, saying these are SH, you-know-what-T countries. We've got Acosta saying it. We've got them all saying it on CNN, you name it. Again, just like F. Lee Bailey saying the N-word over and over and over and over again. You can't use it, but if a liberal, fraudulent, corrupt lawyer, in my view, wants to use it to manipulate a jury and let clearly a guilty man go free, as we now know, if you want to do that, you are a bad person if you're not the establishment. But if you're the establishment, you can. So CNN, to inflame emotions, ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, they're all quoting the president as saying this and saying it to get people out of their comfort zone on mainstream TV to suddenly hear them cussing. If I cuss or a caller slips through, our stations complain. We've lost affiliates before, because the FCC will selectively fine them. Or Howard Stern, if he wants to say SHIT, he had to leave terrestrial radio because sometimes it would slip through. But now mainstream media, they can all do it because the executives are saying go full bore, do whatever you want, take them out. That's why they've got former Democrat governors, it's on Infowars.com, saying they will punch out the president. Hashtag hunt Republicans. Go kill Republicans. This is what they say. And people are getting attacked. Hot coffee's getting thrown on them. They're getting shot. They're getting beat up. They're getting their families assaulted. And they think it's funny as they usher this country towards civil war. And notice the left hadn't come out that I've seen and denied the new documents that came out from the Soros group trying to trigger martial law and race riots when Obama had only a year left in office. See? That story up on Infowars.com. Incredible. I believe the president that he didn't say it, but we've seen them lie about him over and over again. I could say that sources say the president snorts methamphetamine in the White House off hookers' rear ends. Not true, but if I said it on CNN, they would all parrot it to give it credibility. Think about that. But we're also going to discuss the difference between free countries and oases of liberty versus crap holes and hell holes. Because there's things even worse than crap holes. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Haiti is a hellhole. That's why everybody's trying to get out of the crap hole. It's a fact. So I think the president should just go with it. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 weeks ago, we had more fake news out of the fake news globalist media. They reported unnamed sources saying that the president had said, I don't want Haitians in America. They've all got AIDS. But nobody ever comes forward. There's no recordings. There's over 50 people in the room, but nobody's got a recording of it. Well, the same thing yet again, an anonymous source that Trump calls Haiti and other third world countries you-know-what-T holes. And then CNN, MSNBC, NBC, they're all, including broadcast TV, not just cable, are saying that unedited. Just like F. Lee Bailey in the O.J. Simpson trial 41 times said the N-word. They had a white guy do it to make it worse, to have that emotional response of a white guy to black people's faces calling him the N-word. Not a black man, not a black woman. They made the decision to do it. They got it in their face, and then they transmuted that onto the police department. The black jury did. They admitted it later. Some of them said they were conned, onto the police department and onto the prosecution. And it's the same thing. You never hear them say those things on television. They're not supposed to under the FCC, but they're doing it because they want to stick the knife in, turn the edge, and then put salt in the wound. Total manipulation. Separately, Trump has said he didn't say it. But no matter how many times they put out fake news and get caught, they're getting more desperate. They've got governors on TV, Democrats saying, I'm going to physically assault the president. They're trying to start uprisings in the country. Hashtag hunt Republicans. They see the prosperity coming back. They see the dependency folding. They see black unemployment, the lowest it's ever been since they had the Bureau of Labor Statistics for over 70-plus years. They're in full panic mode. They want to domesticate and control everybody. And that's why they're so angry right now, the poverty pimps that want to control these people. But let's talk about facts. I don't brag about it. I don't make a big issue out of it. But I've bought hospital beds for people in Latin America and for groups, and I've bought hundreds of wells and hundreds of cows for people in 4 different African nations. But I pick countries that are somewhat half stable, where you have poor people who can actually help, like Kenya and other areas. I never made a big deal about that. My grandmother, I tried to give her some money. She insisted on living in a very, very humble house and clipping coupons and all that. I tried to, help her, and she would say, no, just give money to this Latin American group or give money to this African group. And I've given hundreds of thousands of dollars to that. I've hundreds of thousands to investigating pedophile rings that we're not going to brag about our successes here on air. I mean, that's what I do. But since we're going to get out here and say calling Haiti or other third world crap holes is what they are. That's the name for them. I mean, they're hellholes. Go move there, Don Lemon. Go move there, Al Sharpton. Go move there, Hillary Clinton. Oh, but Hillary just has her people caught smuggling kids out of Haiti. Associated Press, they get convicted. You just have them stealing $2 billion of the $2.1 billion that got donated from the Haitians. But it's okay to actually steal from them. I've sent food shipments into Haiti. I have financed and supported multiple groups that have done it. I've sent my reporters in to the risk of their lives, and I'm not tooting my horn, but I'm actually there helping people in the beyond a crap hole. It's a hell hole. We have transported the dead and dying. We have funded it. The Clintons stole all the money. I have done more than the Clintons did for Haiti. But they're going to sit up there like Oprah, sticking her tongue in Weinstein's ear and taking Weinstein, setting women up for Weinstein. Seal, who I've always really liked, has come out and said she's a monster, and that she's supporting the evil, and that she's exactly what she claims she's fighting. And that's the truth. God bless Seal, great artist. Love all his music. The point is you got to have a soul to sing like that, and you got to be smart. The point is that that's a real human being, Seal. I don't care if he's black or white. I love his truth and his justice. Oprah's a pig and a lying creature. And the media sits there and covers it up, and it's sick because they know she's sold out. $2+ billion stolen. And all these women are coming out that Oprah, who was always a pimp, a little girl, she admits it, was bringing women to Weinstein for him to rape them. You notice the media won't pick up that when I cover it. They'll just misrepresent what I'm saying and say, I don't like her because she's black. That's the headline. Alex attacks Oprah for being black. That was the headline the last week. Total lie. Just like they're lying about the president. But Seal sees through it. The 10-time or whatever platinum winner. He sees through their lies, and he's going against Hollywood and the whole thing because they'll have repercussions against him. So that's why I'm angry. I don't care if you're black, white, or whatever. If you're dying, I want to try to help you. And I know some Haitians that are beautiful, smart, wonderful people that live in America. But it's been a colony of slavery, never got out from under it. Voodoo, the occult. It is a very, very wicked system there in Haiti, ladies and gentlemen. And I've been involved with groups trying to stabilize the country and actually help it, with Bob Barr and others. But this is the reality. I don't get off on seeing Haiti so fallen and broke back and falling apart. It makes me feel bad as a human that they're in such bad situations and seem to be cursed with tsunamis and earthquakes and just, I've actually tried to do something. And so has President Trump. He sent more aid to Haiti than the Clintons ever did. But if he even made the comment of, why don't we ever bring people from productive countries to build up our nation? Why do we only bring people here from crap holes? Which he didn't even say. But did he steal the money? No. See, robbing them, killing them, and taking their children, kidnapping their children, that's okay. But the media then puts out a fake statement on the president and are now calling for his impeachment, and they're calling for physical assaults, and they're calling him a racist, and they're playing it unedited with the low English. That's really all it is. The Norman, took over England 900 years ago, and they said your language is illegal. So that's the last few words left of it, and they're still illegal today. But if you expand on that, ladies and gentlemen, that's what political correctness is. When you conquer a people, you get rid of their language. You get rid. George Orwell wrote about that. So it's documented the Clintons did this. It's on record. The mainstream corporate whore media will not cover it. We're covering it. And there's so many angles to learn from this event, this teachable moment of the type of committed fraud they're involved in. It shows you, even the economy coming back, and even Trump really at 60% in real polls, they're not going to give up. They're never going to stop ever, because they'd taken control of this country. The globalists had run it in the ground. They were setting up racial and cultural divisions to control everybody and complete our journey into third world serfdom. And Trump's trying to stop that while really helping people, and they hit him at every angle. Oh, he's betraying you on DACA. Didn't do it, did he? But they got all the fake conservative bots out still saying, he betrayed us, he's over. They're trying that tactic with bots everywhere when he didn't betray you again. They treat you like you're an idiot. They hope you're an idiot. So he doesn't go with their bad DACA deal. He wants a reasonable one for real people that are law-abiding, been here for a long time since they were little, and can prove that they are vetted in a good part of society. You can stay, and I'm all for that. And that's what he said 3 years ago and 2 years ago, and the media lied about that. And then they use their lie that he said he hates all the Mexicans. Now he says he loves them. He flip-flopped. He never said that. They're preying on you like you don't have a memory, like they think you're stupid. And it isn't about defending Trump. It's about defending the truth. We would be in so much trouble. And now they go, oh, he betrayed it again. Trump may have paved the way for a DACA deal. Will he now sabotage it? See, he just wants a reasonable thing for 800,000 we think are vetted and deport people that are 3, 4, 5-time felons. And they just keep misrepresenting. And that's why they hate this broadcast, because you're getting really what's going on here. We really do our homework. Here, let's play CIA officer, admittedly CIA. They make jokes, go, Jones fake news, says he's CIA. He was CIA, but now he's not. And you know, same guy that tells you all this other crap. We'll get to him in a minute. Let's play Jim Acosta first, the guy that's always in the White House with fake news, fake tweets, you know, saying that he didn't really visit Congressman Scalise. Then there's video of it. He thinks you don't remember that he lies to you every day. Here is one of the most worst liars of a group of horrible liars. Here's Jim Acosta.
As Jim Sciutto was saying, with the president talking about immigrants coming from Mexico being rapists and criminals, and now this comment, the president referring to Haiti and countries in Africa as being, and I noticed you, Wolf, you hesitated to use that word. I hesitate to use it myself, as an S-hole, or is what the word that the Washington Post is quoting the president as saying. I think, Wolf, what we have to come to grips with, and I almost have to think back to the day when we were at Trump Tower. When
we'll be back. Stay with us. We'll be back with the truth. Again, total lies there. Remember, he said there's some criminals coming from Mexico. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live broadcasting worldwide, and this makes me so angry at mainstream media. They are just such globalist liars. Just like they said weeks ago, but the president said, oh, we don't want anybody from Haiti. They've all got AIDS. Turns out that's not true. Now you've got this quote. The president says he didn't say it. The media is saying it over and over again like he said it, really never even saying when I've been watching that he denied it. Like they'll go for 20 minutes and say, oh, by the way, he denies it, but S-hole, 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 S-hole. Meanwhile, the Clintons literally raped Haiti and Rwanda and other areas and carried out and backed UN extermination programs that killed 800,000 Christians. in one country. But that's okay to fund the Arab Spring and take over 4 countries and kill close to 500,000 and put over 100,000 women and children into sex slavery, and to have Linda Sarsour marching with a hijab on, leading women in America, teaching them to wearing hijabs, and Islam is feminist. But the president, with a fake quote, calling a third world nations crap holes, that's the #1 story in the world. And what was it really all about? What was the whole point of the entire situation from the beginning? What was the point? To distract from the #1 news story, not of mainstream media, but the #1 story on the internet yesterday, Veritas, Project Veritas, James O'Keefe, with 8 different executives of Twitter saying we're engaged in censorship against Christians and conservatives. If you support Trump, you're just banned. But you don't even know you're banned. No one can ever see what you say or do again. And these smirking, sickening, anti-American control freaks, it's the #1 story. And what do? They go, all right, first we're going to say the whole thing about how they've all got AIDS. Then to make it sound congruent, even though it's fake, whenever we're ready, whenever we need it. And this is key in crisis management. To cover up a real story, you use a fake story. And this is the mother of distractions. The Moab's the mother of bombs that's conventional. This is the Moab of distractions. And they build it. And then you'll hear more quotes. Yeah, he said he rapes Haitian babies. Yeah, he eats them. Yeah, well, we just keep hearing about Haitians. It must be true. And they always pick a subject the Clintons are weak on. If they're on board the Jerry Epstein, Lolita Express pedophile airplane, if they're involved with a bunch of pedophiles, if their own people got caught shipping hundreds of kids out of Haiti for sex slavery and people get convicted for it that work directly for the Clintons, what do? You file fake lawsuits with Jane Does who don't even show up saying Trump was with Jerry Epstein raping him on the airplane. And then it later turns out it's not true. That's what you do. If you're Russian agents on the Russian payroll, like Mueller, like Comey, like the Clintons, like all these people, you just say Trump is. If you're a race-baiting Nazi collaborator like George Soros, who said he's proud of what he did working for Nazi Germany, what do? You have the Southern Poverty Law Center and ADL, you fund, say Alex Jones is a Nazi. See how that works? See how they get that done? See how they manipulate everybody? And they do it over and over and over and over and over again. And next, you're going to hear more and more and more. And then you're going to have governors, the clip's coming up next segment, saying, if I see Trump, I'm going to assault him. Democrat. I'm going to physically attack him, along with the hashtag Hunt Republicans and the full-page ads saying rise up, drive him from power, Antifa. And Antifa out with guns, not even letting conservatives march in Austin and holding guns up saying, are you scared, violating their civil rights, just like you don't let a little black girl in 1959 into an Arkansas school, and Eisenhower, the Republican, sends in federal troops to let that little girl in school. It's the same thing, not letting reporters and families go to the Capitol with men with armed guns telling our reporters you're not going in there and bumping into them. But it's okay because Austin's blue. And they're going to teach us with their armed thugs in the streets. They run things now, period. And you're going to learn and you're going to take it. We put that graphic up that we've compiled of the Justice Department and the FBI, not the whole FBI, the people at the top, the Democrat people that were put in by the Clinton crime machine, with Obama and Lynch and Comey at the top, with Sally Yates and Hillary and Andrew McCabe and Orr and Carlin, the Justice Department, and Lisa Page and Peter Strzok and Baker and Price Strap, and then right down there putting out the Fusion GPS with their own wives and husbands getting the contract for $2 million. Hell, you don't just put out lies against the guy elected by the people to frustrate the voters and to stop the restoration of the republic. You get $2 million while you do it. For a 40-something page piece of fiction proven absolutely to be filled with garbage, with the main author of it, Mr. Steele, admitting it's baloney in desperate attempt not to go to prison. And now criminal investigations by the Justice Department have been opened. Now, if that isn't exciting, I don't know what is. People ask me why I get so upset, why I get so excited. Because, man, this is the second American Revolution. It's 21st century. It's information war. We've got the truth. They've got pure lies and pure garbage hammering us with it 24/7, and it's going to get more weaponized. I've been told by my high-level Justice Department and Defense Department sources that if you think the program they've got with Adobe that they released last year and then pulled off the market, where you can take 10 seconds of somebody's voice and then completely have a voice print novel that would pass voice print of saying whatever you want to hear from that person, and the word is they've got tapes ready on the president. But the good news is so many women have been approached to bear false witness that now more than 40 women, was a few dozen a few weeks ago, more than 40 women have signed affidavits about top Democrat officials, lobbyists, and others offering them as much as $2 million to say the president sexually assaulted them. Got to have a little ace in the hole, little something that nobody knows, to quote the great George Strait. So that's where we are right now. When we come back, I'm going to play. And the next segment's going to be chock full. Clip after clip after clip after clip of them with the same unified message on every major corporate globalist enemy media that's captured this country. We're trying to take it back. This is a war. That isn't rhetoric. This is a true war where they're now saying, kill the president, assault the president, get his supporters. He's a racist. Go after him. Do whatever it takes. And they'll use whatever false quotes they need, ladies and gentlemen, over and over and over and over again to try to bring him down. And the word is they're going to start putting these quotes out, have him deny it, and they've got so many recordings of him. You could take one of his speeches, particularly a clean one, a broadcast, and they can sit there and they can have him say, I rape Haitians. I murder Haitians. I drink their blood. You know, I went to the moon and ate purple Pop-Tarts with an Easter bunny. And Santa Claus was there with the 3 dwarves and the 7 Easter bunnies and the Keebler elves and Gleek the space monkey from the Justice League and Aquaman and 3 giant whales. Ha ha! I mean, they can do anything, but we know they're a pack of criminal liars. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, the globalists are trying to create race war in this country. It came out in Soros documents earlier in the week that back in 2015 they wanted them. And so they misquote the president. He says it's fake, just like weeks ago he said that the Haitians all have AIDS. Totally fake. There's no proof. Another lie. Well, now they've got Democrats, governors coming out saying we want to physically attack the president. Make no mistake, Shithole Gate, as I'm dubbing it, Shithole Gate is their Waterloo. They think Crapgate is going to bring down the president, bring down the free press, and stop our resurgence of the republic. But their attempts to keep putting out fake news and to censor anybody else that responds to them, and all the proof that they're engaged in this authoritarian battle to stop the American recovery with fake news and disinformation to drive a wedge into this nation and to destabilize the country, will end up being their Waterloo. It will end up bringing them down. Coming up next segment, I'm going to have the clip of F. Lee Bailey. He said it 41 times using the N-word to a black jury, a white guy, to act like Simpson's enemies had done it. The same way they're doing this SH you-know-what T-hole comment and saying it over and over and over again on the news, but then saying everybody else, you can't say it, only liberals can say it on TV. So video, Democrat governor threatens to punch out President Trump. You would have to pick him off the floor. This from the party of the KKK. This from the party of the Clintons robbing $2 billion, almost all the money from Haiti, and their associates being convicted of trying to smuggle children out of the country. This from these monstrous, lying pigs who know you're aware of them, who know that you're aware of them and are desperate to force you back in. They're engaged in bigger and bigger and bigger lies to try to force you back under their control, and they've got to be stopped because what they're doing now is fire in the theater. They're calling for violence everywhere. Hashtag hunt Republicans. You see the examples everywhere. And then when we say, look out, you keep pushing a civil war, we'll have to defend ourselves, then they edit clips of me together, making it sound like I'm saying launch attacks when I'm saying don't launch offensive attacks. So Democrat governor threatens to punch out President Trump. You would have to pick him off the floor. Terry McAuliffe. So let's play that clip. Here it is.
What would you do in a debate with him if he tried that? If he come over and leaned over and back of you, what would you do?
You'd have to pick him up off the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of talk,
You mean
punk.
you deck him?
Shut him down. Oh, sorry. Yeah, keep going. Oh, you deck him. Keep going.
Listen, this guy got in my space. You want to get in my space? I've always said, Chris, you punch me, I'm going to punch you back twice as hard.
All right, let's stop
And it
right
wouldn't
there.
be hard to do.
Total inversion of reality, upside down world. They put out all the fake quotes, all the fake news. They're caught thousands of times per agency doing it. Just constant fake news every day on purpose. ABC News. Oh, Flynn's flipped. He admits he's a Russian agent. He met with him during the campaign. Total lie. You mean to list the daily lies here? Trump gave away the location of our secret submarines. They were docked in Seoul. Look at our 3 fine submarines. Or they were docked in the port outside South Korea on a trip to Seoul. It's just constant lies, 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 lies. Oh, he's going to betray you on DACA and legalize everybody. Never said it, never did it, just had a nice meeting. Then he doesn't do DACA because they wouldn't give him a good deal. And they say, oh, look, he lied to us and he lied to you. When he said he would do it, then he wouldn't do it, and he did do it. All to just short-circuit things show he can't cut our taxes down to China's level. He can't bring back the jobs. He can't turn down the electricity prices. Everything he's doing to deliver you a better way of life, that's how we win, is prosperity. That's how we get out from under the globalists. And he's in a race to do it. In 11 months and 20-something days, 22 days, he's done it. You've done it. And they are apoplectic. They don't know what to do. So they misrepresent and said, if he came over and leaned in and got on me and said, you know, how he hates black people, why I'd deck him. So they make it about how he's assaulting them in a hypothetical. So it's a hypothetical lie about another lie from a group of known liars and a hypothetical of how he would punch back, but they're the ones lying about him, talking about attacking him on TV. Imagine if Trump said, I'd punch that governor in the face. It'd be the end of the world. But see, they all do it, but say they did it hypothetically because Trump came over and attacked them. Just like Wolf Blitzer had guest on the day that that crazy guy, you know, obviously Democrat Party operative wound up, came and shot Scalise and others, and Blitzer had guest on going, well, he was a good guy standing up against you, and Blitzer nodded. And I said, Blitzer, what are you going to do if somebody pumps rounds in you because you're a Democrat and then people say, well, the person that killed you, you know, wasn't bad. They were fighting evil. I don't want that to happen. Media Matters edited that out this week. Put it out that I said go put rounds in Wolf Blitzer. These are a pack of scum. I said, Blitzer, don't start condoning shooting people because it could end up happening to you and we don't want to go there. They edited out where I'm saying somebody needs to go shoot Wolf Blitzer. People say, well, then don't talk like that. They can edit it. They're gonna. It's like saying don't ever have children because one day they'll die. Or don't breathe air. Or don't even ever be born. I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm doing what I'm doing. It stands with integrity. End of the story. Yeah, there it is. Completely edited out of context. What happens, Wolf Blitzer, when somebody pumps rounds into your little pumpkin head? He says, it's just political. And then in the full statement, it's, you're calling it, okay, political because this guy went and shot Scalise. Are you crazy? What happens if somebody shoots you? And then we just say it's political. That's crazy. Don't do that. Have some chivalry. Have some basic rules, moron. They don't. Because George Soros, a crazy Nazi collaborator who's never been defeated and overthrows dozens of countries, gets away with everything. He thinks he's invincible, and so do the rest of these crazies. That's why we got to stand up finally and be done with them, because they're threatening our entire planet. They're threatening our entire world, and it's got to stop. It's coming to an end. No big deal, because that camera always gets moved. We've got the standard shot for that, so we'll just go back to the other shot, or we won't use it. No big deal. Now, continuing, ladies and gentlemen, I'll get to all the other clips in the next segment. I've got to settle down and just get to them during the next segment. I'm really wound up right now because the anatomy of this thing is so obvious, just like the O.J. Simpson, F. Lee Bailey saying N-word, 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 a white guy at the jury, and then pointing at the prosecution. That's all this, them cussing on TV is to elicit an emotional response and act like that it's President Trump that did it. That clip's coming up next segment as well. But first, ladies and gentlemen, we're in a total war. I'm totally committed to you. We got products you need, the very best supplements, the very best quality. We had the biggest sales ever in our history that just ended. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have several new specials. And I just went over with Tim before the show, and I did them with him, and he had them in a folder. And I've got the old specials here. So I try the best I can. But anyways, I'll just hire 5 people to do that. We have Immune Wall, 25% off. We have Alpha Power, 50% off. And we have the Real Red Pill, 50% off. InfoWars Life Essential Pack, 50% off. Secret 12, the super high quality vitamin B12. Survival Shield X2, the good halogen. Find out about why that's so key, and how IQs get lowered when you don't have it. And then, of course, we have Super Male Vitality, 50% off. These are all about to sell out. I had to end all the other specials because they had sold out the other dozens of items, or they were close to selling out because, again, we're getting rid of the extra stock we had for the new year before new stuff comes in. These are great, amazing, best-selling products. You really ought to try Alpha Power, blowing people's socks off right now, X2, all of it. But bottom line, InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. 888-253-3139. You can call, tell you about all the other specials, you name it. And these are great products you need, and we need to every day crack the nut to fund this operation because we're not funded by globalists. They're trying to shut us down on every front. But just commit today. InfoWarsStore.com, Brain Force, Alpha Power, Cell Force, the high-quality fluoride-free toothpaste, fortified colloidal silver and iodine. It's all there. Super Blue. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com. Additional 10% off when you sign up for auto ship. So some of these are lost leaders. Thank you all for making this possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here, back live. And I'm really angry. I'm so angry I'm being a little bit of a jerk on air to the crew, and I apologize for that. But we're under assault, man. I deal with them in fake quotes and fake stories and fake sources all the time in the news. And it doesn't even make me mad that they're saying lies about me. It doesn't hurt me because everybody knows what scum they are. It's that they're such trash. And they're getting worse and worse and worse. And they're all smiley face little jerks like this weenie, this wimp governor saying he'll physically assault the president. It's incredible. And then you notice how F. Lee Bailey, back on the O.J. Simpson trial, 40-plus times said the N-word, just like they're saying all these cuss words and saying, how dare the president do this, and he's so racist, and by this he's racist, when the president says he didn't do it, and there's no proof, and they're known liars. It's meant to manipulate people psychologically. And it shows they're getting crazier and crazier. And now, when did you see CNN or MSNBC or even broadcast ABC or CBS start cussing? Oh, but see, the president did it, so now they can, but he didn't. And it just shows you there's nothing they won't do to try to stop the recovery, and the fact that black unemployment is the lowest it's ever been, and that Trump is delivering on every front. They don't want it. There's the Washington Post. Again, Jeff Bezos is who put this out. Should have said that up front. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, who thinks he owns America and has horrible slave-like conditions at his facilities and factories. He's got factories too. He had his people in his $600 million CIA contract at the Washington Post, said, quote, we're having all these people from crap hole countries come here. Trump said, according to these people, referring to African countries and Haiti, he then suggested that the United States, and it went on. Get things from, quote, the last country that came to visiting. This is the Washington Post caught publishing fake story after fake story after fake story that a guy who makes over $1 billion every 2 days, just what he keeps. He's every 2 days, Bezos gets $1 billion richer. A couple days ago, it was $4 billion. Now it's up to like what? It was $104 billion. Now it's $107 billion. And then Trump doesn't want to screw you over, so this rich jerk, this filth, Bezos, who classically can't even look you straight in the eye, will sit there and do this to us through that organ. That's who Trump's fighting for, us. And it makes me mad. It makes me want to come to his aid. It makes me get angry. It makes me want to stand up because I can see what they're doing, and so can you, trying to rob us of our country. This is a war. You've got to get politically aggressive. You've got to start your own media. You've got to support media. You've got to support broadcasts that tell the truth. Why do they hate us so much? Because we cut and dry show what they're doing. So again, here's Jim Acosta recycling another fake quote out of context that Trump said, hey, we got to vet people. A lot of good people come in from Mexico, but a lot of criminals, a lot of bad people. And the headline, Trump says all Mexicans are criminals. It doesn't exist. Is there a quote of me anywhere on video or audio or text saying that there are Martian slave children on Mars? Never said it. They just say I said it. Total frauds. Think of how they're your enemy. Think of how they prey on you. How they've captured the country and how they're pissed it's coming back. Does that make you upset? Don't believe anything they say. It's incredible. But more than that, everything they support, go against it. That's what you know. And you can sit there and analyze their lies all day. It's what we do. But Costa first says, oh, just like, you know, he said, everybody coming in is criminals, which he didn't say. And then he goes on to his new lie, saying it, building it up, and then we bleep it out because we're not allowed to do what he does. He's a liberal fake news liar. We'll get FCC fines if we play it, so we're not going to, but here it is.
Jim Sciutto was saying with the president talking about immigrants coming from Mexico being rapists and criminals, and now this comment, the president referring to Haiti and countries in Africa as being, and I noticed you, Wolf, you hesitated to use that word. I hesitate to use it myself, as an S-hole or hole is what the word that the Washington Post is quoting the president is saying. I think, Wolf, what we have to come to grips with, and I almost have to think back to the day when we were at Trump Tower when the president was commenting on Charlottesville, and he was saying that there were very fine people on both sides, saying that there are very fine people among the white supremacists and the Nazis, is that the president of the United States just seems to have a problem here, Wolf, in this area. And we can tiptoe around it, we can dance around it, and not.
No, he said there were people out demonstrating. There was media on both sides. There was good people. There was bad people. There were bad people on both sides, which is totally true. You had states' rights people and all that out there. Again, these are the race baiters invoking this. The known liar Acosta, who's been caught lying so many times, it's just insane. Let's play Al Sharpton, the super race pimp, you know, anti-Semite, you name it, says it's a racial slur. And again, this is last night, today, this afternoon. They're still running the same stuff. Most of the time, they don't even say the president denied it. That's another form of fake news. Here it is.
Got this flexible definition about what a racist is. What do you have to spray paint the N-word in the Oval Office or have a hood in the Lincoln bedroom to be?
Buddy, you're the race baiter from the Democratic Party that controls people through race. Let's get that straight. Back to Sharpton.
Racist. If you advocate everything whites only, bring me the Norwegians, bring me this or that, and disparage at every opportunity, whether it's Charlottesville, whether it's immigration policy, every opportunity you disparage.
They misrepresent on every front. Misrepresent on every front. On every front. Never any proof, never any reality. Just this grandstanding by these scumbags that perch on top of our political system. All right, that's enough of his crap. I got this. Don Lemon calls Trump a racist. The race-baiting Don Lemon. Just as bad as Oprah Winfrey. Let's hear from No Ratings Lemon. Here he is.
The President of the United States is racist. A lot of us already knew that.
Hey, pause. Today, Don Lemon is a congenital liar in love with himself that spews race division garbage all day to turn us against each other. Don Lemon works for the globalists that don't want black unemployment to be the lowest it's ever been within 1 year. They don't like the fact that we're going to have prosperity. This is literally a parasite. Let me translate that for you for Don Lemon. Here it is.
President Trump talking with lawmakers in the Oval Office about immigrants from Haiti, from El Salvador, and Africa said, and I quote, "Why are we having all these people from shithole countries come here?" But you know who he did say he would welcome here? He said the U.S. should bring in more people from countries like Norway. And CNN is told that he went on to say, "Why do we need more Haitians? Take them out." Those comments are frankly disgusting. There's other language I'd like to use, but we are on television. But you know what? They're not shocking. Not even really surprising.
That's enough. We had to bleep the cussing, so radio stations missed 10 seconds of that. Again, this is, they go, now let's put out a false quote, because they didn't buy the Haiti thing 2 weeks ago, saying all the Haitians have HIV. That was fake. Have AIDS. So let's just start using cuss words to get people's attention, and maybe that'll get them to buy into it. And it's total F. Lee Bailey. So I'm going to play this, only part of it. There's 5 minutes of it, of F. Lee Bailey And the jury, mainly black jury, said this is why they went ahead and let O.J. go, even though now they know most of them said they were wrong. A white guy pointing at them saying N-word over and over and over again to manipulate, just like they're using cuss words now. And because now they're saying he called black people bleep holes. When you can admit a lot of these third world countries are hell holes. They're not just crap holes. But does that mean you hate the people? No, you're like, I don't want to move to Haiti. It's a you-know-what hole. But it doesn't matter. Trump says he didn't even say it. Let's go ahead and continue with, let's play the F. Lee Bailey piece. Here it is.
That when you see a nigger driving with a white woman, you pull them over?
No.
Do you recall anyone asking you, if you didn't have a reason to pull them over, what would you do?
I don't recall anybody ever asking me that question, sir.
Did you ever make the statement that if you needed a reason, you would find one?
No.
Okay. Next paragraph. Did you say at any time in that recruiting station, in the presence of any female, including Kathleen Bell, that you would like nothing more than to see all niggers gathered together and killed?
No.
Okay. Are you aware, bottom of the page, of any complaint that was brought to the LAPD by this individual?
I'm not aware of any investigation.
All right, that's enough. It goes on for 4 more minutes. We're going to post it to Infowars.com. That's exactly what's going on here. And so the Washington Post is literally a globalist enemy organ allied with the communist Chinese, owned by Bezos, who gets taxpayer money on every order you make, total scam artist, literally trying to cause a race war in America and bring down the recovery, and blacks having the biggest economic boom they've ever had. That's what they're trying to hurt black people. So here's everything you need to know about SH, you-know-what-T-gate, crapgate. It's about fake news. And if we got out in front of this and expose the history of this and the mechanics behind it, it will just be one more nail in the coffin of MSM and their entire fake news system. Remember, 2 weeks ago, they said that Trump in a meeting said that all Haitians have AIDS. No proof. That didn't work. It went away. They went, wait a minute. Let's say that he said Haiti and other African countries, even though Haiti's in the Caribbean, but they said Haiti and other African countries are SH, you-know-what-T-holes. Why don't we bring people here from the nation like you just met with a Northern European leader? And you can see how they then rolled it out and then used the SHIT on air to elicit an emotional response, which F. Lee Bailey and many other lawyers in the O.J. Simpson trial admitted that they were going to have Johnny Cochran do it. But Johnny Cochran said, listen, I'm black. That won't freak him out. A brother, in his words, using the N-word. Because we've taken that term and turned it around. You need to do it. And they sent out, and he agreed, they sent out F. Lee Bailey, known corrupt lawyer, paid big fines, you name it, to go in there and use the N-word 40+ times to project that onto the whole investigation so that O.J. would get off. And it was successful. So that's what this whole exercise is trying to also change the subject from shadow ban gate, that was the #1 story yesterday, Twitter going involved in huge amounts of censorship. So they're desperate right now, ladies and gentlemen. And they don't want the president to go, oh, yeah, DACA, let's try to be friendly. Let's work something out. They want to take that away. While acting like they were his friend, I said, watch, the big attack's coming. So that's the real key news here. And remember, the Clintons stole 99% of the money that came in from Haiti. They set up a system to control it where they got the money from thousands of charities. They and their organization got caught shipping little Haitian kids out for all sorts of horrible stuff. Associated Press investigation. Even the Huffington Post says the Clinton-Bush Haiti Fund is lying to you. It's a fact. So robbing them and killing a bunch of black people, that's not bad. But an imaginary quote that the president says is fake about places being crap holes, which they are crap holes. People that live there will tell you they're crap holes. They're hell holes. They turn it around. So here's a little compilation of some of F. Lee Bailey.
You use the word nigger. in describing people?
Presently.
Yeah.
Overruled.
No, sir.
You mean if you called someone a nigger, you have forgotten it? I want you to assume that perhaps at some time, since 1985 or 6, you addressed a member of the African-American race as a nigger. And you say on your oath that you have not addressed any black person as a nigger or spoken about black people as niggers in the past 10 years, Detective Furman. Did you say, while in the recruiting station at any time during those years, that when you see a nigger driving with a white woman, you pull them over?
No.
Did you say at any time in that recruiting station, in the presence of any female, including Kathleen Bell, that you would like nothing more than to see all niggers gathered together and killed?
I can't listen to this anymore. Turn it off. It doesn't mean there aren't racist black people out there that I don't like. There are a lot of great black people, a lot of great white people, you name it, out there. I'm not going to lower myself to feel powerful to the level of engaging in this as a white person. And just like there are racist whites, there are racist blacks, you name it. But again, what you've seen with this whole fake quote of the president, which he's denied, then now they're saying, oh, he's calling black people crap holes. So they're now even extrapolating out the fakeness and saying the cuss words on TV to elicit an emotional response, to manipulate you. And it just shows there's nowhere they won't go. There's no low that they won't plumb. These people are committed and they're not giving up. And the fight to restore the republic has just begun. And the victories we've had are sweet, but they're going to be so much sweeter when we finally end these people. New lows for the corporate whore media. Continually putting out fake quotes, continually putting out fake stories, continually lying on every front you can imagine. On purpose. I mean, when they come out and say, Flynn's flipped. He admits they were Russian agents controlled by the Kremlin. He met with them during the campaign. They know that's all fake. And then hours later, oh, we're not sure. Oh, it was a minor mistake. They think you're not paying attention. Just like, oh, the Haitians all have AIDS, he said. And it's not true. Well, let's just add a cuss word in there and air that and make it try to fly. And you know they're got all the Adobe software that anybody could buy until they pulled it off the market for a couple $1,000s to take whatever they want and put out fake quotes of the president. But they pulled that off the market last year because they started thinking, what's going to happen to us? When everybody can put out fake audio of whoever they want, we won't be able to put out fake audio on Trump and others, and then people will know, oh, well, that's a computer program. And the computer programmers will be able to study the wave files and be able to tell if they're fake or not. And they're like, well, we'll have to release this later, not right now. I mean, you can see the thinking behind all of this, and you know the next shoe to drop is that they're going to come out and say that he hates black people. They've already said that, but they're going to try to have witnesses, or they're going to use the N-word. There's really no end to this. And notice it distracts from the best stock market ever, the record low black unemployment, record low unemployment, thousands of new companies starting, millions of new jobs, huge tax cuts, huge bonuses, things roaring back, the Chinese in a trade war, lowering their taxes to 0 on corporations, trying to keep our factories and jobs over there, and to keep our money over there, just our money that all goes there. And then the enemy media that's so committed to bringing down this country, they come back like a bat out of hell with a new story. And I was watching the news last night and this morning, and they barely even say the president denies it. It's incredible. But then I started thinking, why not just own it and say, well, I didn't say that, but America's infrastructure is a S-H-you-know-what-T hole. And America's education went from the best in the world 50, 60 years ago to the worst of the industrialized world. So for education, we're a S-H-you-know-what-T hole. And the way we take care of our veterans, the VA is a S-H-I-T hole. And the way the Democrats lie and the mainstream media lies, they treat us like our minds are a S-H-I-T hole. And again, the mainstream media, they can use it, they can say it, they can play it on the radio and TV on their shows. We're not, because we'll get shut down. Because again, we're just libertarian patriots. The language used by me at the DACA meeting was tough, but this was not the language used. What was really tough was the outlandish proposal made a big setback for DACA. He's trying, as he always said, to get real DACA for people that aren't criminals, that really were here when they were young, that can prove that they're aiding society and not people engaged in fraud. Like Obama just said, you come here, you say you've been here for a while, you're legal. No matter how many times you've been deported, no matter how many crimes you've committed, you sign a form pledging to stop committing felonies. Trump goes, that's a horrible plan. A lot of criminals are coming out of Latin America and Mexico. We got to be able to vet them and stop them. A lot of bad people, a lot of good people too. Then they just headline, Trump says all Mexicans criminals. You're like, where's the clip? Where's the clip of Alex Jones saying he hates gays? Where's the clip of me saying that there's a Mars base with slaves on it? Never said it. Now, I've challenged the media. You know, $10 million you got me saying that I believe there's a Martian base with slaves on it. I mean, what are you talking about? But again, this is who these people are. They're unbelievable, and they've got the most dumbed-down people. The people that live in Democratic Party, blue state, big mega city, SH-T holes. Everywhere Democrats are in control are SH-T holes. And every country socialists are in control of are SH-T holes. I mean, let's have a debate because some of them aren't just SH-T holes. They are HE double hockey stick hell. They are HE double hockey stick holes. North Korea is a hellhole. Venezuela is a hellhole. Russia under communism is a hellhole. If you're not an inter-party member in China, you're in a hellhole. If you're in a Foxconn factory, you're a hellhole. If you're in an Amazon factory, you're in a hellhole. How do you fix things? You call it a hellhole. A crap hole. Haiti is a literal crap hole. Haiti doesn't have indoor plumbing in 95% of it, and tens of thousands die every year of cholera and other waterborne diseases. There are open sewers of feces everywhere. You look at a satellite photo of the island of Hispaniola. The east of it is the Dominican Republic. Very nice, green, beautiful. The other side, pull up satellite photos of Haiti. Almost total deforestation, total collapse, never got free market going, a hellhole. A hellhole where the legend has it that the Haitians pledged themselves to Satan and sacrificed a hog, and they say this in their own history, to free them from French rule. And they never got out from under colonialism of one type or another, and the Clintons preying on them and all the rest of it. And it is the toilet of the Caribbean. Haiti is the worst place. That's what you call them is, people say, why would you want to go to Calcutta, India? I mean, I have Indian friends that say, oh, if you want to go to India, go here to the north or these mountains or this area is nice. Do not go here. It is because Indians I know, none of them are politically correct. Most people that run up, oh, I love Trump, love you, Alex, are Indian Americans. But the point is they go, oh, Alex, you know, don't ever go to India to go to these places because there's dead people on the side of the street. There's crap everywhere. These are SH-T holes because they are. And if you go to China, people will tell you, don't go there. It is a SH-T hole. So third world places with sewage running down the street and starving children are SH-T holes in definition, in common nomenclature, parlance, a modern dictionary. And let's pull up the Urban Dictionary. They probably already changed it to be politically correct, but let's pull up SH-T hole. If you look at a hellhole is Somalia, North Korea, a collapsing society completely. Venezuela is now a hellhole. Those are hellholes. There's maybe 25 hellholes. There's close to 100 SH-T holes. There are close to 100 countries that you would call. It is an extremely dirty, shabby, or otherwise unpleasant place. This place is a bleep hole. SHIT hole. I hope you know that. So the Urban Dictionary, a bastion of liberalism. Here, let's zoom out. Is this Urban Dictionary or which one is this? No, that's just the Oxford Living Dictionary. Well, I just said go to the common parlance. Wow, let's do a story on this. So the English Oxford Living Dictionary is racist. There's your headline right there. They say that an extremely dirty, shabby, or otherwise unpleasant place is a SHIT hole. So there you go. In fact, let's play the audio of it. We can delay this for radio stations, but just click the little audio if you can fade that, the little speaker, and it'll play it for you. So we'll do it when we come back. So understand, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to the, zooming out, please, for listeners. Thank you. Viewers, just zoom out for me. Thank you. You can go to the English Oxford. Oh, the Oxford Dictionary. That's the biggest one there is, the most prestigious. And it calls it extremely dirty, shabby, or otherwise unpleasant place. What they say the president called it, but he says he didn't even call it that. So what they allege that's fake is what the Oxford Living Dictionary calls Haiti. Because if Haiti isn't an SH-T hole, nothing is. Let's roll some video maybe when we come back of our aid teams flying in food aid and also find out what's happening in Haiti. And we can show you, we've got photos in the town's videos of little starving children, seas of feces flowing. The UN, by the way, crapped in the $20 million water system the U.S. paid for, give everybody diseases. They just had to swim in it and crap in it. Remember that? But it's okay if the UN craps in the water and killed 10,000 people in Haiti. Just don't misquote the president as calling a SH-T hole an SH-T hole, even though he probably didn't say it, and the knowing, lying, globalist whore media said so, playing an O.J. Simpson, F. Lee Bailey N-word. We're back live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Alex Jones. And I intend on opening the phones up. Coming up a little bit later in the broadcast, we're going to have the start of the next hour. Joining us for the transmission, the head of Project Veritas, James O'Keefe, who had the #1 news story yesterday on Google, Facebook, Twitter, their infiltration of Twitter, with their executives admitting we censor all conservatives, we censor WikiLeaks, we censor anything nationalistic. We have AI computers now coming in to end all their free speech where they can't even talk to each other. They think that they're talking to each other, but we block them with all humans and only let them talk to bots. Well, this is what they already do to Democrats. That's in the Facebook documents that came out last year. It's criminal. They have bots that where almost all your friends are bots. They then get your mind thinking over the years into a certain thing. Then they put you into a trough of real people who have all now been programmed, and then now you're self-fulfilling, but then there are still bots that herd you and control you and keep you on the reservation. Why would anyone want to be part of mind control like that? And then certain real people are then recruited by Facebook because the computer profile shows they're anti-free speech, they're vicious, they're hateful, they have total cognitive dissonance. Nothing will reach them. Nothing will help them. They will never listen to facts. Black unemployment could be the lowest ever as it is. You know, Donald Trump could, find the cure for cancer. He's always bad. They then get recruited to be moderators for no money, who then go around censoring, and the really good ones then get paid. And that's all on video, and that's all in the documents. Facebook, Google, YouTube, Twitter, you name it. And, you know, we expose Seal coming out and saying that Oprah Winfrey's a horrible person that brought women to be pimped by Weinstein. He's credible. You know, very good guy, good background, one of the biggest selling artists ever, black guy, African. Don't call me a European or whatever, I'm from Africa, whatever, just a person. And he's the worst ever, see? And so you'd think that'd be a viral video about Seal coming out, but no, you can't share it. You have to actually go find it on my channel to even see it. And it's the same thing they do with every video that's powerful. They just shut it down. And that's why they can't stand Fox News, despite all its problems, is it doesn't go along 100% with the other establishment channels. It was for about the last, going back about 6 months ago, a year before that, in the previous year before that, with the end of the election, about 6 months in, they were pretty anti-Trump. But that hurt their ratings. They lost half their viewers. They went, whoa, this is too crazy. We're going back the way we were. And they flipped back to, hey, Trump's going to win. We're not going to be able to get rid of him. Sorry. Which just shows you how opportunistic the Rupert Murdochs are. But at the end of the day, most globalists have so many hundreds of billions of dollars, they don't even care. They'd lose a lot of that money just to get rid of Trump and be in control. For the Murdochs, when it didn't work, they were so opportunistic, they at least went back to quitting. Which shows, I don't think they're pure evil then. A little more pragmatic, which is better than pure evil any day of the week. So that's why I have been so angry about this, is that to watch the Clintons rob Haiti, to watch all this go on, to watch them ship kids out of the country, to watch everything they've done. The Clintons back when he was president and right through, robbing it, looting it, stealing all the aid money with the IMF and World Bank, not just the the donations. And I've given huge donations and funded aid missions and sent reporters in and exposed it. And I'm not going, I'm goody two-shoes. It's just that to sit there and be criticized as a libertarian, as a Christian, as a conservative by MSM, and to see Trump being criticized when all he's been doing is trying to help Haiti, and to see the massive aid that went into Puerto Rico and the media lie and say he doesn't like Hispanics because he didn't help Puerto Rico when that was all a fraud. It's just to see them push the tyranny and push the lies on and 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 on. And to have all the CNN panels unloading, calling him a racist, and Don Lemon and all these idiots, and Phil Mudd. Phil Mudd, formerly of the CIA, said he wanted the president dead and he should die soon. Said, I'm a proud SH-Holer. So you don't, oh, that's my other big challenge. Phil Mudd, if he loves third world crap holes, according to the English Oxford Dictionary, meaning a third world place without plumbing, Haiti, the Oxford Dictionary says that if Trump even said this, he's correct, but they don't care. He says he's a proud S-holer. Well, but you're never going to see, you're going to never see him move to Haiti. You're never going to see Don Lemon or Bill Clinton or any of these people. They just use it as a third world hellhole where they as vampires can come in and feed as much as they want, as long as they want, as hard as they want. And I'm not mad, but I thought all these clips were bleeped. And we played Lemon earlier, and he said the cuss word. I'm not going to do what CNN does. It's no big deal. But is our Phil Mudd clip bleeped? It is. Let's play Phil Mudd, CNN analyst. I'm a proud bleep holer with the idiot Don Lemon. Here it is.
Are you shocked or surprised by this?
I'm not surprised. In one way, I'm proud. I am a proud holer. My family was called wops and mackerel eaters. I'm proud of that. We came when people from Ireland and Italy were seen as dirty people, dirty Catholics who didn't belong in a Protestant country. Holers built this country 110 years ago. They were called slopers and slant eyes. Chinese people who built this country.
Hit pause again. They're literally, and if you want to try to go to China at that time, they'd kill you. Everybody was tribal, and there was huge groups, and the media hypes it up bigger than it was. That's, I mean, most of the people in my family intermarried with Native Americans and stuff. But again, this is a little race-baiting Phil Mudd of the CIA and the former head of counterintelligence brought in by Mueller. This is an enemy of the country. Up here invoking every racial slur he can to make everyone hate the president like he was there 100 years ago being mean to somebody. Oh, and by the way, I'm not against Catholics. They're great people, but the cities Catholics took over. If you weren't Catholic, you weren't getting a job either. This is what people do until the American system changed it more than anybody else. They're now attacking the American system as if we're the worst in the world, but not Foxconn Laboratories, not slave labs, not genetic engineering, not robbing Haiti. It's these monsters that rob everybody, like Mudd, who's failing and who is a filth and who's very close to going to prison with his friends like Mueller, who doesn't know what to do. Let's go back to him. Hit pause again. It was Franklin Delano Roosevelt that put some of the Japanese in internment camps. It's the Democrats again. Again, if you know history, it's Eisenhower. It's the Republicans that did the Civil Rights Act. It's the Republicans that were against slavery. You sack of garbage. But again, everything you say is a lie, but you think the viewers are idiots. And they are. They're a bunch of racists, whites, blacks, Hispanics, you name it, that tune into CNN for their race narrative, and they all hate white people in general. They are the racists, because the KKK was founded by the Democrats. Well, that's from Spinal Tap, with the fictitious band playing the part of a 1970s, 1980s rock band, with the hit song Hellhole. I would have called Haiti a hellhole. There's probably 20 or so hellholes, maybe 80 SH-T holes. The English Oxford Dictionary calls any country that has squalor and doesn't have a lot of electricity or running water or sewage a SHIT hole. So whether the president said this or not, the English Oxford Living Dictionary would define Haiti as one of the worst SH-T holes in the world. But Trump, just like he said 2 weeks ago, he said, I didn't say all the Haitians have AIDS. That's preposterous. We've sent extra aid there. But see, they can't have it either way. He just kicked 200,000 Salvadorans out of the United States and forcing them back to gang violence, ravaged and impoverished disaster area. But I thought he was going to betray us on DACA. No, he was trying to make a real deal where you had to be vetted. So this is just the media telling conservatives he betrayed us on DACA, which he didn't do, then putting out another fake quote he didn't say by the fake media famous for that. Now we're going to go to Scott Adams, who's a linguist and expert in his own right, best-selling author, of course, creator of Dilbert and so much more at Scott Adams Says here in a moment. It's always great getting him on my broadcast, The War Room, Real News with David Knight. Just great to have him join us. And, of course, you can visit his website as well, Scott Adams, scottadams.com. I'm always just visiting him on Twitter. So we're going to talk to him in a moment about this and get his take. He was coming on about some other subjects we'll get into as well when we set him up a few days ago. But I wanted to play the former deputy director of the CIA, Phil Mudd, who said a few months ago, we're going to kill the president. The deep state will kill him. So we've come a long way. They at least admit it exists. To now saying all of us that were Irish and all of us that came here, because, you know, the evil Protestants, we were all the SH holes. And I'm like, no, those are Democrat party-run areas where they're closer to Haiti or whatever. I want to empower Haiti. I've sent aid to Haiti. I've been involved. I didn't swindle it like the Clintons did. So there's reality and then there's fiction. And so even though the president said this, which he said he didn't, Haiti is known as one of the biggest you-know-whats. People that come from there. People I know from India call places like Calcutta a SH you-know-what hole. They are. When there's open sewage, that's the definition. A hellhole's North Korea or a collapsing society like Venezuela. There's not many of those. But the Democrats would turn us into a hellhole like the south side of Chicago. Then right next to it's prosperity and no crime. It's culture, it's media, it's Democrat blue state areas. You look at a map of the U.S., everywhere there's blue is where you find the hellholes and the crap holes. So the Democrat really they are the crap hole party. I think the president should own this and say, well, I didn't really say it, but, you know, the dictionary says that Haiti is a SH-T hole. The Democrats have robbed it, made it a worse crap hole. So here's that clip, then we'll go to the creator of Dilbert.
You shocked or surprised by this?
I'm not surprised. In one way, I'm proud. I am a proud holder. My family was called wops and mackerel eaters. I'm proud of that. We came when people from Ireland and Italy were seen as dirty people, dirty Catholics who didn't belong in a Protestant country. Holders built this country 110 years ago.
Trump is a Catholic. Let's continue. It's all projected, but the creator Dilbert, he's really the expert on this language stuff. I'm just kind of a natural guy that just looks at it, but he's got the technicals in a moment. Let's continue with the guy that said we're going to kill the president. Here he is.
They were called slopers and slant eyes. Chinese.
Oh, wait, pause. Did you adopt a person from a starving orphanage in South Korea like my parents did? No. You are another elitist scumbag that's all talk on the KKK Democratic Party. Let's continue.
Built this country. Holders from Japanese internment camps.
Was Democrats put them in there again?
Those camps as American citizens. And that's a legacy that we bear shame
That's enough.
for.
That's right. You and the Democratic Party, but Eisenhower and the Republicans and my grandfather in Texas politics, when nobody else in his area was a Republican, he got elected as a Republican, and they put the black kids in the schools, and they did it all, and then you turn around and tell me I'm a racist? No. You're part of the real crap hole party, the KKK, Mr. Mudd. Excuse me, I'm ranting here. Scott Adams, blog.dilbert.com. At Scott Adams on Twitter. Thank you for joining us for this segment and the next. You heard me ranting the last 4 or 5 minutes. What do you make of this SH storm that's going on?
Well, as usual, things are not necessarily in context. So one of the contexts that you see left out quite often is that when he said, why can't we get more people from Norway? Sometimes they mention it, but usually they don't. That he had just got done meeting with the Prime Minister of Norway, and he had been talking about Norway, probably for an hour and a half that day. And so when he was trying to come up with the name of a country that was prosperous, he said Norway. So if you leave that context out, it changes it a lot. The other context you probably need to put on this is that the damage that the president created, and by the way, I count his use of the word shithole in a way that could be, got out to the public was clearly just a mistake. And as mistakes go, it was sort of a 10 out of 10. It's about as high as you can get on the offensive mistake level. So I don't defend it in any way. But if you put it in context, what he said was in a room with no cameras and no recording. So it was a bad thing to say, but in the context of the room, everybody in the room understood it to be his usual colorful language, talking about the economic situation of those countries, because the whole reason they were talking about those countries is because they had a bad economic situation. That's why they were favored in the first place.
Simple, but he's denying he said it, but I want you to address that. But if he did, he has called our infrastructure totally crappy. That doesn't mean he hates America.
Here's the point I'm heading toward. He said probably something along those lines. The details are a little less important. But here's the thing. Whatever he did was bad, and I don't defend it. But it was also limited to the room. Whoever leaked it, and then whoever, the writer for the Washington Post who decided to magnify it, turned it from a small, bad, unfortunate comment that I wish he hadn't made in a room where it would have been contained.
Ooh, that's a good point.
into something that's a million
They're the ones
worse.
that brought it out and put salt in the wound, that a private conversation. I get your point.
Yeah. So if you're gonna, there's nothing that excuses what the president said because he put himself at risk for being quoted. There's no excuse for that, and it is offensive. But if you were to compare that, I like to use this analogy. If somebody is guilty of manslaughter, you can't defend it. It's a 10 out of 10. It's as bad as you can get. But if you were to compare that to, say, a genocide, everybody would agree that the genocide
that the Clintons admit they were involved in Rwanda.
Yeah, well, a genocide is bigger than a manslaughter of one person. So the president is certainly guilty of creating a situation where this could get out. But whoever the leaker was has committed a far, far more serious crime against the country. Not crime exactly, but offense. It took a small offense that could have been contained and turned it into a gigantic issue that's it's a bloody nose for the country. It's bad for the way we deal with our allies. It's bad on every level. And I think you have to hold maybe not the Washington Post responsible because they do reporting for a living, but leaking isn't anybody's job. Nobody took a job to be a leaker. So whoever did that has to share, I would say 95% of the damage. I think they have to own that. But the president doesn't get off at all. I give him, I would say that this is a bad move on his part, period.
Well, he says he didn't say it, but he did say I use some harsh language. He should just come out and say that Clinton stole $2 billion out of Haiti, even the Huffington Post admits that, and that this is a complete joke and more fake news. I mean, listen, I could say maybe he used colorful language like that, but what about all the other fake news they've been caught putting out against him over and over again?
Well, let's look at context again, because if you change the context, you can create fake news where there is none. And one of the questions that I've asked the press to see if they can wrestle with today is the question of, if the president got his preference of a merit-based immigration system, given that most of the world is not white, wouldn't that, by his design, create a system where mostly non-white people are immigrating simply because of the math of it?
The brain drain. Let's talk about that. Really smart with Scott Adams of Dilbert. We'll be back. Let's talk about the brain drain straight ahead. Well, I've always liked Dilbert. And I've also read his new book, Win Bigly. And Scott Adams, of course, endorsed Hillary for his own safety, but he's been more of a, what do you call him, a libertarian? He's not been a conservative or a liberal over the years. And he always gets me to think about different angles. And it doesn't mean I totally agree with him. I think Trump's being more like Putin. I don't mean on policies or being pro-Russia, but Putin would say this is a crap hole country. I mean, if Trump even really said it. I've just seen media lie so much, I don't know how we can even agree that Trump really said it. But then when the Oxford English Dictionary says a third world country without running water or without sewage is a SH-T hole, I just say own it then. That's why people like Trump. But I can see what you're saying in these countries then hurting our relations. Well, I think the Clintons robbing them hurts the relations. But I want to hear you flesh this out and the point you were getting to as we went to break, Scott Adams. Please continue.
Well, the point was about context. And if we haven't compared the president's future plan of a merit-based system, I don't know if we can determine whether his merit-based system would be biased toward white people or not. But if you just do the math, I think 25% of the world is white, and they may be disproportionately in countries where they're less inclined to want to immigrate because they may have good economies in their country. So I think you're comparing two proposed systems in which both of them get you far more brown people, but one is merit-based, where the people who come in are more immediately adding to the quality of life in this country, and some are not. It's a completely fair argument as to whether or not you should have a merit-based system, but I think it's false to say that one system brings in lots of brown and black people, to use the phrases that are being used in the news, and one doesn't. Because as far as I can see, both of them would do pretty much the same.
Well, pragmatically, Trump 2-3 years ago said over and over again, I'm not against all Mexicans. They're not all criminals. That's a lie. Well, a lot of criminals are coming in unvetted. And he gave examples. They take me out of context. And then the conservatives were all mad at him going, he's saying he's going to go for DACA if they vet the people. Well, that's a betrayal. No, he never said that. It's like conservatives go, super right-wing ones, oh, he hates gays because the media said he did. He's got rainbow flags at the convention. He's got people coming out, out of the closet up there, eloquently, like Peter Thiel. And then when he doesn't come out as anti-gay, they go, oh, my gosh, you betrayed us. You're not anti-gay. But it's the leftist media misrepresenting, and then it's just crazy.
Well, yes, and also keep in mind that we observe this president using hyperbole and exaggerating on every topic about everything. So everything he does, he says, is the best in the world, which I think is good technique, by the way. And he says that everything that he doesn't like is the worst thing in the world and some kind of a hole. So this is the way he talks about everything all the time. If you were in that meeting, you probably knew he was just talking about the economic circumstances of those countries. But as soon as it leaves that meeting, whoever leaked it turned it into something different by changing its context.
No, you're right. The leak is the issue. I mean, why do these people keep doing incendiary things, whether they're true, half-true, lies? Aren't they really the ones endangering the country? Because you can say, well, it's talk big. If we had the biggest industrial base, we had the future. If Trump says we're great, we believe it again. We look at the economy, look at everything. It's manifesting. It's not like Oprah's Secret where you just Shazam can make a palace out of the sky because you believe it. We have the infrastructure. If we go back to it, it looks like Trump's exuberance is working.
Yeah, and I would also go back to something that a famous blogger named Scott Alexander once wrote about. It's the phenomenon that if you hear something in the news that just sounds unbelievable, it is almost certain that it didn't happen. So, for example, when it's been widely reported that the president called the white supremacists in Charlottesville fine people, well, that seems so amazing that you say, oh, my God, is that possible? And the answer is, he almost certainly was thinking about there must have been other people there. Maybe there was just some Trump supporters who like free speech or whatever. So it is unbelievable because it probably, almost certainly, didn't happen. Likewise, when he said that the immigrants coming from Mexico included, rapists and murderers, whatever his exact quote was, if you interpret that to think that he believes everyone coming over the border is a criminal, that's hard to believe. And the reason it's hard to believe is because there's no chance he was thinking that.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Dan.
Like he always does.
Where do you see this going? Because mainstream media keeps ratcheting up the rhetoric with Phil Mudd, saying we're going to kill the president a few months ago. And now he says, he's called us all of us assholes when we didn't. Personalizing it, where if I go out now, leftists attack me, throw coffee on me, they scream Nazi, they scream Russian agent. I mean, this is like a witch hunt at the levels of the Salem trials. And I am not a witch, and I'm basically have people chasing me down the street with pitchforks and torches screaming witch, witch, witch. And it's insane. It's not even scary to me. It's insane.
Well, the witches are always the ones who say, I'm not a witch, Alex.
Exactly. So
watch out for that. But yeah, no, this is a dangerous situation. And I think you have to allocate the blame rationally. The president did something that made this new excitement possible. Totally his fault. Could have been avoided. It was a self-inflicted wound. But whoever leaked it turned it into a big effing problem. And that person needs to answer for that morally, ethically, practically, and politically. I think that not knowing who that was, whose judgment was so bad to think that this should be a story that the public should be digesting, it's almost mind-boggling that somebody could have made an ethical decision in that direction.
Plus, Trump showed if Democrats come to the table and are real with him, he'll make deals. He's not a dictator. He's got to make deals. He lets them in, and then every time they leak or they embellish, I mean, they've been caught lying, too, about stuff. So I don't agree with you that we know this was true. He said, I use strong language, but it's not that. I think he knows somebody might have recorded it. It was something else. It may have been close. I think you're partially right, but I just think he's, I don't know. Because I agree he engages in hyperbole, but when he gets nailed down, he starts getting accurate. Sorry, go ahead.
But Alex, I would agree with you that it's unlikely that we're hearing the quote exactly as it was said. And chances are, if we heard it again in context and the exact words following whatever else had been saying, at the moment, it probably would sound different. So I don't think he's necessarily wrong when he says that he didn't say that exactly. But I think it's fair to say he was making disparaging remarks about the quality of some countries. I don't think that's...
But if somebody says to me, like I've got Indian friends, and I've said, I've never been to India, where should I go? And I mean, they're like, oh, man, well, I tell you, I would not go to Calcutta or this or that. They are SH-T holes. And because people are crapping all over the street, there's dead bodies. I mean, I've had family that's gone over there. Some areas are totally beautiful and great. Some places have 10 million people in a city, and they are hellholes. They are not just crap holes. I mean, if the dictionary has the word for open sewage, a place is a crap hole.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but context, again, is rules everything. If you say about your own child, oh, my God, my son's a dope, then people say, well, the context is you're the parent, you love your child, you're just speaking.
But they're doing something dopey.
Right, but if somebody else calls your kid a dope, well, these are fighting words, right? So the problem is not whether or not these countries are shitholes. I mean, that's an interesting question and maybe one that's useful to know.
We should have a map of the world, hell holes, crap holes.
But it really matters who's saying it and in what context. And
what are good countries called? Glory holes?
No comment.
Sorry, go ahead. I apologize.
Well, I think I was done with that point, that what was said in the meeting was bad, but whoever leaked it made it terrible. So context matters.
Do you think Trump's going to end up being one of the greatest presidents ever, or do you think just on this track, I mean, this is insane. Because the prosperity's coming in. I don't see how they remove him as long as the economy keeps surging.
Well, the history of this sort of thing, it happens every month or so, is that it plays big for 48 hours and then it goes away. Do you remember, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, we were talking about this book called Fire and Fury. Like our sense of time has completely changed because of this president.
Exactly. It's almost like he does so much of this as an idiot savant that it jumps from the one thing to the next. So, yeah.
The one thing you don't have to wonder is if there will be another outrage that will push this one off the page again. But it will always live in people's minds as part of the confirmation bias story that says he's a monster.
Wow. You're right. Fire and Fury is only a week and a half old. It seems like 4 years ago. I'd even forgotten about it until you just said it.
Yeah, literally. I'm booked to be on a show tomorrow that was booked earlier in the week, and it was going to be about Fire and Fury.
You were coming on here about it, but I just knew to move on.
Right, and I just said, well, maybe we should wait before we decide what I'm talking about, because it's going to matter what happened that morning.
All right, the creator of Dilbert, Scott Adams, at Scott Adams on Twitter. We're at Real Alex Jones, the new book, Win Bigly, InfoWarsStore.com, bunch of specials as well. Thank you so much. Great talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We got Project Veritas coming on. This story shut down his story, the #1 story yesterday. Waging war on corruption, crashing with the lies and disinformation. I'm going for another couple hours in the war room with Owen Schroyer, and, of course, the great Roger Stone's coming up. Millie Weaver's here riding shotgun with us into the next hour or some. I did not even plug last hour. I've gotten so busy covering news and information, but I'm just going to leave it at that. That if you go to InfoWarsStore.com, we've sold out of many of our best-selling items because we're selling them at 50% off. But we have extended the sale 15% off on our flagship combo of InfoWars Store products to help you start out right. We're bringing you a combo that includes our best and most popular products ever. The InfoWars Life Essential Pack includes fan favorite, ladies and gentlemen, products: Survival Shield X2, Survival Shield Secret 12, and Super Male Vitality, all at
InfoWars Life Essential.
No, I'm just telling them to cut your mic. It's just because it's doing an echo. It's no big deal. It doesn't matter. The InfoWars Life Essential Pack includes fan favorite products: Survival Shield X2, Secret 12, and Super Male Vitality, all at special price of 50% off to help you start the year with a bang. We also offering double points for our loyal Patriot Points members when you purchase the new pack. You normally get 5% off on your next item or in your points. Now you're getting 10% off. No reward system does that. So you sign up now or you buy stuff now, 10% off. It's an additional. Do the auto ship, additional 10% off. So many of these are loss leaders with the Patriot Points you already have, or they're free with the Patriot Points you earned, or with the free shipping, or with the other points that you get. It's just insane. Survival Shield X2 is the perfect opportunity to try the power of nascent iodine. Our high-quality proprietary formula is derived from ancient sea salts that help supercharge your functions. Continuing, Super Male Vitality will help boost your vitality, libido, energy. Just it's amazing. Try it out. And finally, Secret 12 will help deliver a boost of energy and health with an advanced and all-natural B12 formula that's absorbed under the tongue. Together with these products, we have over 13,000 reviews with a combined 4.8 out of 5-star rating. These flagship products are fan favorites for a reason. They're healthy, affordable, and will support keeping your body strong, natural, and energized. Don't miss out on the most incredible sale of our flagship products. Yes, so get your InfoWars Life Essential Pack, double Patriot Points today, and start the year off right, 50% off at InfoWarsStore.com. Now, sometimes with the mic audio, it's weird. Sometimes it's off, so it doesn't echo or heterodyne feedback. So I was just kind of pointing at the mic, hey, kill that, because it was echoing in my ear. But I know you're a big fan of the products. Briefly, Millie, this is unscripted. What are your favorite products for InfoWarsLife.com?
Well, definitely the X2 is a staple, but I've also been really enjoying the new enzymes and probiotics that we also have as well. I was originally taking the probiotics that we had, but this new probiotic I seem to be getting even better results with. I also really like the Secret 12. That one really gives me energy, and I cannot do without the Vitamin Mineral Fusion, because you have to be getting those minerals from somewhere. Our food supply is depleted. We typically aren't getting the right amount of minerals as we should be, so it's important to have a mineral supplement.
And it's crazy. I'm the guy that was never really into this, but our big sponsors were supplements. And then I had Dr. Groupmiller say, why don't you actually try them? And I lost like 60-something pounds. And I've been working really hard lately and haven't even been working out and stuff. But because of the supplements, I'm lighter than I was 15 years ago. And I've just got to remember, take the Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Give it to the kids. Take the Immune Boost. Take the X2. Take the Secret 12. I don't need another cup of coffee at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock when I get off. If I just take the Secret 12 about an hour before, it gives me the natural energy. It's just amazing. And then you're funding the InfoWar. And listen, audience, you've done a great job. But we're under attack. They've taken our sponsors. They've taken our Google ads. They've tried to shut us down.
That's right.
Despite that, we brought in as much revenue last year as we did before. But I'm expanding, as everybody can see. So I haven't paid myself from last year. I intend to with something so I can pay my bills. But my bank accounts are actually shrinking because, and I'm not complaining, I'm just all in. So please, InfoWarsStore.com, commit to go peruse the videos, the books, the films, the brain force, all of it. Find the items you like, sign up for auto ship, get 10% off, and know like you're tithe to the truth. You're tithe to stand against Soros and the globalists. With you doing that, we've come through the storm. So I salute you. We've changed the world. We're the tip of the spear. We're under massive attack. We're going to have you and Roger for the next 3 segments. Let's go to Roger Stone. I haven't talked to him since last night to get his take on Crapgate, and just how incredible it looks using the same thing. We have Twitter executives calling their users any Christians, any conservatives, Trump, Julian Assange, American flag, SHIT people. They always invert. Then they say, oh, he said this quote, the same thing to change the #1 story from the truth to a lie. We have video. They don't.
Exactly.
Trump has all these witnesses saying he didn't say it. What do you make of this, Roger Stone?
Well, I I got to tell you, Alex, I've been watching CNN. I've seen Jake Tapper just whip himself into a. This is the best day this guy's had in years as they try to trounce on the president. But look, they had to find some way to distract from the fact that African-American unemployment is at the all-time lowest it has ever been in the entire nation's history. They've got to find some way to distract from that. And what better way is this entire charade? Speaking of which, have you been to Haiti recently? If it weren't for the Clintons stealing all of that earthquake relief money, virtually all of it, literally billions, the country is destitute. The situation is dismal there. There is no housing. There are no schools. Disease is rampant. Unemployment is out of control. The country is a basket case. Why? Because after they were hit by natural disasters, Bill, as the head of the UN task force, and Hillary Clinton, heading the U.S. State Department, stole literally every single penny for themselves and their cronies, leaving Haiti in the dismal state it's in today.
Imagine if the president announced a press conference or a 30-minute speech to the American people saying, you know, the Clintons stole $2 billion. Even the media admits 99% of the money that was given. They're involved in all this. I've had aid for Haiti. I didn't say these things. And I call for criminal investigations of what they did in Haiti. The Haiti president, everybody's saying they robbed. The robbery is still ongoing. It's been going on. And imagine if you had a press conference to get back in their face and say, this is a counter to black unemployment being the lowest it's ever been in modern history, and my speeches and my commitment to try to direct new jobs, businesses, industry to black impoverished areas, true systems to actually help bring people up, true affirmative action. Shouldn't he have a press conference, say tomorrow night, or a speech to counter them right between the eyes?
I think it's good advice. I always believe in the immediate counterattack. Now, is there video existing of the president saying this?
No.
Because I haven't seen any. And the president denies it, and his witnesses who say he didn't say it. So it looks to me like a mainstream media manufacture, and it's meant as a distraction from the fact that Senator Feinstein got caught red-handed breaking the law in trying to further the Fusion GPS charade. The fact that the economy is cooking like never before, that the North and South Koreans are now at the table thanks to Donald Trump. Oh, my God, we've got to distract from all this good news. Trump is not only making America great, but he's moving us towards peace. So let's manufacture a new crisis in which we're able to call it racist.
Exactly. You know, Roger, it does make sense that this could just be more fake news, because we even saw that the fake news media edited up a clip from that DACA meeting saying that Trump was going back on his DACA campaign promises, which we all know if you watch the entire meeting, it's far from the truth, and they remove crucial points there. So it's very likely that, you know, this is not true, and Trump denying it makes it even more so. Well,
you've got some great points you're going to make right when we come back, but exactly. They lie at every angle. They tell supporters he's going to totally say 50 million can come here. You can be 80 years old from another country, you can come here. And then he didn't do that. And they hit the other side and go, oh, he's going to kill all the Mexicans. And then they go, oh, and he hates black people. And they go, oh, see, he's going to sell us out on DACA. Oh, he didn't do DACA. They lie at every level. It's just like total lies, total fraud. We're going to talk about that with Roger Stone, Millie Weaver, and more straight ahead, Infowars.com. So Spinal Tap, makes a joke about their hellhole countries like North Korea or Venezuela. I mean, countries that don't have running water and have sewage running down the streets. That's how people do it. You just crap into the street. That's where the term S-H-I-T, hole, comes from. But the president says he hasn't said it. You've got these witnesses saying he hasn't said it. I want to know why the Oxford Dictionary says that they should be shut down and arrested because language is evil. Roger Stone riding shotgun with us. Rob Dew coming up. Millie Weaver, you've got a bunch of points to make, and I want to get Roger's take on what Trump needs to do about this, because you can't sit there while the Washington Post and Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world from slave labor and government kickbacks, does this. It's time to break his ass right now in his monopoly and take away his the $1.48 he gets on every package. Well,
what's pretty clear to me after watching the entire meeting that was aired by the press, where Trump sat down with Democrat and Republican lawmakers to put together this DACA bill, what was apparent was that the Republicans were more than willing to compromise. And actually, there were a good amount of Democrats that were willing to compromise. But there seemed to be a handful, like Senator Feinstein and others, that wanted to come out and say, well, no, we just want DACA, but we don't want to have to give an inch. We just want DACA. We don't want to give on the border security, which we know Trump is trying to push through with that. And so what I feel is that Trump made statements on Twitter that they put forward a really bad offer, which most likely we can assume he rejected. And this is the Democrats' way of throwing a hissy fit. Throwing a fit saying, look, the DACA thing isn't going to go through because Trump's a racist, not because we aren't willing to compromise. And that is exactly what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, so they just cooked it up and made it up.
Exactly.
And he's got to just counter that. Roger Stone, I mean, what does Trump need to do right now? I mean, this isn't really hurting him. In fact, it's backfiring, even though he didn't say it. People are going, yeah, Haiti is a crap hole or whatever. You know, didn't put down the people. It's a crap hole because the Clintons robbed it.
Well, look, Alex, Donald Trump is the greatest counterpuncher in American politics, maybe the greatest counterpuncher in our American political history. And he needs to get on offense. This is obviously a calculated distraction from the fact that he's succeeding across the board. Record stock market, unemployment at all-time lows. African-American unemployment at the all-time low. The South and North Koreans in peace talks. ISIS on the run. A solid conservative on the U.S. Supreme Court. Trump is delivering in spades. The Democrats must distract somehow from it. If I were the president, I would use the bully pulpit. I would call for a televised address to the nation, and I would get out there and counterpunch. The greatest single amount of chutzpah I've seen is a tweet I just read from Hillary Clinton, which accuses the president of being racist. Racist, Hillary? No, denying your husband's son, Danny Williams, banishing him. That's racist.
Calling black people super predators and passing laws to give them more time for the same drugs. We can play the clips of her saying it.
Exactly. Trump should actually point out what the Clinton Foundation did in Haiti and talk about, Democrats want to bring these people here as the solution. Why not talk about, the people staying there, fixing the nation, and Clinton Foundation companies not robbing those nations from funds that would have helped them.
Exactly. But again, I can't believe they're even trying to get away with this. I mean, this is just so transparent. Roger, this shows they're not giving up. I mean, listen, I'm against monopolies anyways, but you've got Google, Facebook, Twitter, all admittedly involved in censorship. You got Bezos owning the Washington Post as fake news. I think Trump needs to move against them and break them up right now. They're not ever going to come to the table. They are out to destroy this country. They're globalists. We got to deal with them right now. What do you think, Roger?
Well, but then you saw the president, solid instincts on the massive citizen surveillance bill before the United States Senate, tweets correctly that this is being used to spy on the American people, had been abused in the spying on his campaign, and then the very people that he hired, the people he appointed, and the quislings in Congress get to him, and they turn him around. Again, the president's instincts correct, the people around him undermining those instincts. So he's got to get back on offense and realize this is all a giant mainstream media Democratic bait and switch. We've got to get people distracted from the fact that Trump is delivering, that America is on its way back. I'm for the fireside chat. I'm for the televised national address to the country. The country would be riveted, and the president would regain the initiative.
And they'd have to, not just a press conference, not just him, occasionally out talking to some firefighters. He needs to just look right in that camera and go over his points and go on the attack about the foundation, the Clintons. Look how fast Ted Cruz quit when they brought up his dad in the CIA and all that in the Bay of Pigs. I mean, he needs to go on total offense. But like you said, we now know why this happened. Despite everything, his instincts, despite the insiders, the attacks, everything, we have the economy turned around, 2 million new jobs, record black employment, all these good things happening, double the amount of appointments for people in the VA and services, turning the corner in less than 1 year because of his instincts and his will. But I was part of it. We were all conned by it, or at least most of us. Bannon goes in. We want to believe he's the good guy. The media told us he's the bad guy, so he must be the good guy. He goes in, he betrays, he brings in the globalists, he sabotages, he prepares the 25th Amendment, he gets caught, thrown overboard. We still cruise forward, weakened and wounded, but stronger than the globalists by far. And it's just so clear that now, because of Bannon, who brought in the coterie of globalists, the president isn't able to implement everything. And if they weren't in the way, where would we be, Roger, right now if it wasn't for Stephen Bannon and his Benedict Arnold, Judas Iscariot type activity?
No, I think you put your finger on it. What's amazing is how much the president has been able to achieve, given the intractable opposition of the two-party duopoly and the elites of both of the national parties, which still resent his election, still can't get over it. He not only has their deep enmity, but their resolve to remove him has not flagged a single inch. I go back to New Year's Eve when we were high-fiving each other, and I said, you know, we're at a high point right now, but they will still seek to take him down. They will never admit his success. Despite his they hate his love for this country. They hate the fact that he's committed to a reform agenda and that he's destroying the...
Well, they call it mentally ill. They call it mentally ill. You're supposed to be a psychopath and screw all the people of the world. The things he's doing for us will raise wages globally. They've been a race to the bottom, like Ross Perot said. The elites want totally poor people in coffin apartments they control. Bezos admits that. And then Trump's countering that with a prosperity message. And all these people, Africa's being told you can't have cars, you can't have air conditioning by Obama. Trump says, yeah, you can have it all. And it's so obvious.
It is obvious. And, you know, Roger, I have a question for you. Do you think that it's possible that we could actually see the president come out and address the Project Veritas videos on Twitter and the censorship that has been going on and discrimination against people who have certain political...
Imagine a weekly address on each of these topics. Exactly. It would devastate them.
Like a fireside chats of issues, and he goes on the offense instead of always being on the defense for the fake
What we're saying is it must happen. They need to stop tying his hands, his instincts. Gosh, but the thing is that he's got advisors who'll give him disinfo. It's just, Roger, what do we do? This is so riveting. I can't turn away.
Well, you're exactly right. They are moving very, very, very quickly to shut down our access to social media. The reforms announced by Facebook yesterday, if you read...
It says if it's not friendly and nice, we're banning it, but the Democrats can say they're going to murder us. If we say, don't murder me, that's bad.
Well, and there's a direct quote. We're going to be showing you less news and more of what we want you to see. They're closing down channels on Facebook. Millions have already been disenfranchised. I know Republicans and conservatives and liberty-minded folks who own major Facebook channels who have lost millions and millions of followers and access in the last 72 hours. This is coming very rapidly. The president crows about his prowess on social media, but he has to come to grips with the fact that they are moving aggressively to shut him down.
By the way, the Communist Chinese 2 years ago announced this, where if you don't support their system, they're going to downgrade you on their own social media. And now they're showing you going, be positive, go along, shut up, and we'll make you big. If you don't, you're gone. But then by the time they've got everybody, they shut that down too. Now is the time.
Our country has never been more divided now that we have social media. If you really think about it, it's because we have these...
Oh, it was designed for a globalist takeover. We used it to defeat them.
They're trying to create a civil war. They're trying to create division. And then when you have Democrats out there in the media saying, oh, we're going to punch the president. Oh, you know, president is racist without any...
Sitting governor of Virginia.
Exactly.
But then he can say that. That can be on Twitter, Google, and Facebook. We just can't say that's wrong. That's not coming together in the little cult with the trendy, so that can't be heard. No, we're just going to call for Scalise's death and Trump's death, and you're going to sit there and take it. I want to come back with both of you after the 70-second break and recap this, Millie, because this is it. This is the fight. You want to defend the Republic. Trump was only the beachhead. You have to hand spread the live links. You've got to absolutely support these transmissions, or they're going to win, and then Katie bar the door.
That's right. And you know what? we're talking about here, what happened with the march on Google, we ended up taking a step back from that because of the threats of violence and the Democrats coming out and it being used to set us up. But the problem is, like you were saying, Alex, if we don't do anything, if we don't stand up and actually take to the streets rather than just Twitter and social media platforms where we're in our own echo chambers, no one's going to hear us and nothing's going to change. And that's why I feel like what's so important here is what Roger Stone, Milo Yiannopoulos, and these other people are doing by actually taking these people to court. That's very important. But also street action is very important. We need to actually come up with another march on Twitter.
Well, what you just said is, I talked to Google insiders, and they said they're so scared of you and Cernovich announcing these marches coming up in a month. So then they triggered their operations in Virginia and did all that, and then said about you and others just going to cover marches, you were coming to kill people, and that we were coming to kill people. And now we learn internally, I'm banned on Google campuses. We're the #1 enemy. They're scared of this. Well, everyone should just randomly go protest at Google facilities and expose them, you know, online and in person. They're so scared of that. So yes, in the next few weeks, I'm going to be announcing during the show for a flash events off of 360. They've got a Google facility and an Apple facility. They've got another one downtown. And everybody has to do this because they're so scared of being cyber called out, but also in person. So as they restrict us online, we start hitting the streets. Roger Stone, go ahead. Give us your take on that.
Well, you know, my colleague Tyler Nixon yesterday invented a great new hashtag. Stop the Twatsies, because that's what they are, the Twitter Nazis, the Twatsies. Think of a chain of humans hand to hand, like a circle, all around the Twitter headquarters. You've got to cross the picket line to get in. You have to fight them, yes, in the courts, and I guarantee you Milo and I and a host of others will be doing that shortly. The mother of all lawsuits, multiple jurisdictions, on multiple causes of action to avoid them consolidating. We will confront them in the courts, but they have to be confronted at their front door. That's the beauty of the First Amendment. Protest, nonviolent protest.
And as libertarians and conservatives, we don't ever do that. We've got to do it now. They're shutting down our free speech. They're involved in our phone calls. That's what digital stuff is. They're like breaking in Twitter, Facebook. I mean, they break into our private messages and look at them and share them and laugh. This is a group of truly criminal, authoritarian, dirtball control freaks. And we're coming after them. And, you know, I told everybody I'm going to sue them. You know, I'm listed in these lawsuits now by DeBoer and others, and more is coming. And a lot more is coming. Oh, we've got them on video saying they discriminate against me.
Exactly.
So I'm just waiting for more comes out, and I'm suing them as well.
And if you think for a second that you wouldn't have...
We're going to sue the Google employees.
Well, I want to see some of the people who were in that terrific Project Veritas video. I want to see them under oath on the stand. Let's see what they say then. And Jack Dorsey, we know where you live, Jack. We're going to form a human chain around your home every day, day in, day night. Have a nice time, pal. It's peaceful. It's the First Amendment. Get ready, buddy. It's coming.
It's the First Amendment at its best. Thank you, Roger Stone. We'll talk to you soon. Go ahead, Millie.
And, you know, if you think for a second that liberals, if they were being discriminated against on Twitter or YouTube, that they would just sit back and not do anything about it or just say, oh, let's just use a different platform.
No, they'd sue. You don't bake gay guys a cake, they sue you.
Exactly.
Fine. But we're not even, I mean, we're not allowed to have any access to anything?
We have to sue.
Because we're SHIT people.
They
have them on video calling us shit. Excuse me. They have us on video calling us, you know, calling us shite. But see, they've got a made-up quote.
So they can discriminate, but the cake maker can't. Sorry, but this is grounds for lawsuits. This is grounds for massive protests. And you know that liberals would be doing it if it were them. So we need to do it.
Well, they've hired a bunch of racist minorities and told them it's your time to suppress white people for what happened 100 years ago. I mean, that's what they've done. We'll be back with the key to this whole operation. Stay with us. Thank you, Roger. Millie, stay there. We'll introduce Rob Dew. All right, Rob Dew taking over in this hour. We've got Millie Weaver now in the control room with some final comments. I'm Alex Jones, your host. But let me just explain this right now. There's some truth to people that say Facebook, Google, Twitter, you know, their properties like YouTube, they have their own platform. So why are you bitching? Well, their very same groups are running around saying censor us, take control of us. Hillary, when she got elected, knock them all off the web. I mean, they're everywhere just saying, shut us down.
And I liken it to they built a gingerbread house to say, everybody come in and play, come in and eat, have some free candy. It's great. It's fun. And now they're going, hey,
put you in the oven.
Put you in the oven. Yeah, now we're going to put you in the oven. We don't like what you're saying.
Hansel and Gretel.
Exactly.
And then they're censoring the liberals and other people that are independent. They're coming into muscling and going, oh, you got 20 million views, PewDiePie. Do what we say or you're banned. He's like, I'm not even a conservative. It's all about muscling.
Right.
Knowing the power of the people, knowing that was coming on the internet. They created these things so people would make it big, and then now they come in and censor it while they want to censor any other site. These are internet ghettos. But it's a fraud. It's racketeering. It's fake advertising. It's discrimination. We hit them there. But like Matt Drudge said, and as I've said, we got to create our own websites like Infowars.com or NewsWars.com. We've got to create our own platforms. And listeners have to go to those platforms realizing and share that info, realizing that it's all up to us. If you go to newswars.com or prisonplanet.com, and if you go there and if you share those links on the enemy's platforms with your own email, your own by hand, they can't stop us. So at the end of the day, it's up to you. But they are already ratcheted us down. But because we fought so hard, we've stayed the same size the last year, which has completely confounded them. So they're in panic mode. That's why they have congressional hearings, everything else, because it's not working. Well, the answer is sue Congressman Quigley, saying shut us down as fake news for civil rights violations. And we're behind the scenes suing people. There'll be public lawsuits, don't worry. But, you know, we're doing it. But it's not like we're happy about it. That's why we need to be flooded with money, because I don't have money to even expand right now, much less do all these. People say, oh, sue, do this, do that. Buy a T-shirt, buy some books, buy some videos, buy some supplements you need, water filtration, air filtration, whatever the best systems are out there rated, we sell them to you discounted at InfoWarsStore.com, because without that, we're nothing. Without you, we're nothing. This is a real war. This isn't just media and conservative liberal. This is the full takeover. And we're in the fight, but it's happening now. The future is being decided now. Rob Dew?
Well, I'd like to just point out that you were ahead of your time by you created a social media platform years ago. It ended up, you know, kind of dying.
Well, it got infiltrated, and it wasn't all fancy with, you know, CIA money, but, you know.
Right. You didn't have CIA backing. You didn't have the push to the front. But still, it's people that need to make things like that, like their own social media sites, to take away.
And then Gab did, and Google bans it on there and then calls for it to be shut down.
Right. They don't want competition. And it's like, hey, if you don't like what the people are saying on Gab, don't respond to them or don't follow them.
But it's way beyond all that. We're under total criminal censorship attack.
Oh, yeah.
Bezos is making $1 billion every 2 days off the scams he runs and government funding. The Washington Post is literally the enemy of this country because we keep being reasonable.
Right.
You know, we keep just kind of looking at the facts and the evidence and, debating this and polishing that. The globalists are absolutely in total war against the recovery, against the president, against all of us.
Yeah.
No more just sitting there like pundits analyzing this.
And James O'Keefe hit it on the head. They use the word S-H-I-T-T-Y against...
Because they're on video calling all whites, conservatives, Trump supporters, veteran supporters, WikiLeaks, shit people.
Yeah.
Delay that. Because we can't do that. We're not upper-class elite liberals. They're allowed to say it because it's documentary and they're okay. We can't.
And then 3 hours later, they come out with the same thing. Oh, Trump said this. Who do we have? We have people, according to people familiar with their reactions. Those people weren't even in the meeting. According to people familiar with their reactions.
People in the meeting say he didn't say it. Of course they're lying.
Of course.
Garbage. You're going to be taking over soon. Millie Weaver, final comments.
Well, it's obvious that we are seeing social media networking companies right now fighting for the right to control their chattel. They're brainwashed masses.
Well, it's beyond that.
So
They're saying we're going to social engineer with algorithms what you're allowed to even talk about to engineer you where you don't interact in the real world. You interact through cyberspace, and then in this virtual reality, we condition you to behave the way we want, or you don't get human activity. We put you in solitary confinement.
They are creating their own echo chambers through their bots, through their algorithms. So if we were to just say, hey, let's just leave and only be on our platforms, we miss the opportunity to awaken the masses that are still watching CNN and watching Don Lemon and believing the lies and disinformation. So we have to fight. We have to stand our ground. And you know that if the liberals were being discriminated off these platforms, they would do the same. So we have to do it.
Again,
that's
they're not
my
liberals.
final comment.
I agree. They're authoritarians. I just thought people could go online and act like fake liberals for a few months and build it up and then say it was all fake just to show people. But listen, they found people that only want social media power. They get the dopamine of getting promoted, so they don't care what the truth is. There could be a cure for death. These people don't want it. They have chosen people in these things that are literally pure scum. And so some say the answer is leave Facebook, Twitter, and Google. And I agree. The president needs to break it up. Google, Facebook, and Twitter are a greater threat than Hitler, who wanted to conquer the world, because they're scientific, they're committed, they're evil, they're using psychology. So I agree. It's now time to shut down Google. They want to shut our speech down? Right. It just hit me. Fine. It is time to have congressional hearings and all of it, and not just break it up. It's time for Google, Facebook, Twitter, and all these groups as criminal international crime syndicates with everybody's personal data, as we're going to break next Monday, sharing our photos, our videos, turning our cameras on, recording it as intelligence agencies. It's time for Facebook, Google, Twitter to be shut down as criminal operations, just like the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. It is time to shut them down.
It was all started with dirty money. CIA funding is what started the
leftist CIA money.
Exactly. And it was to create this panopticon that we're in right now, this social media panopticon where they try to control everything you want to say. And that is the danger that we're in right now. We do have to break free. I mean, you just read Zuckerberg's statement of what he's saying they're going to start doing. I mean, he put this out yesterday. He's basically saying we're shutting people down. We're shutting people down, but he does it with a smile. Remember the velvet glove over the iron fist? That is what is going on again with Facebook.
He announced, like, if it's not loving and liberal, we're shutting it down. Yeah. He says if it's not friendly. And then meanwhile, they're all in there saying, we're going to kill you. We're going to murder Trump. Sitting governors are saying, I'm going to punch the president out. Hashtag hunt Republicans. Keith Olbermann saying, I'm going to kill everybody. Cussing, screaming. If you say it's wrong to say kill people, you're shut down.
Exactly. I mean, he even says.
These are total cowards.
He said, we're basically going to make these changes and you're going to see your traffic go down. And basically what he's saying, he's going after people who are content creators. That is, he says it right here.
He says, we're only going to feed you what we want, which is the big corporate sponsors.
Exactly.
So Facebook is killing itself. Twitter is, Google, and they're doing it early. They were always pumping dumps to get everybody involved and do this, but now we're forcing their hand, and they're done.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we don't do something now, this next election, 2020, the big election, it's going to be, you're not going to hear anything from the conservative opinion. All you're going to hear is liberal talking points.
And Antifa is going to come out like we can't even go to the we can't go to the
They're
Capitol.
Going to be allowed to shoot people.
There's guys with guns and the cops go, they're Antifa, they're allowed. And they go, you don't come in here.
Right.
And it's like, whoa. And they're like, black kids can't go to school, you know, until Eisenhower sent in the troops. The Democrats, you know, we're not letting them do it. The Democrats said, no, black kids can't go to school. Millie, closing comment before Rob Dew takes over.
Well, you know, in the 1930s, the telephone companies were broken up because they had a monopoly on the system. And Congress did this because you wouldn't want someone discriminating, saying, hey, you know, you can't call these amount of people or have the same access. They turned it into somewhat of a public utility. Now, I'm not necessarily saying let's turn these companies into public utilities, but something needs to be done about the discrimination for people and their political affiliation. Congress does have legislation that protects people against racial discrimination, religious discrimination, and sex discrimination. But there's nothing protecting people federally against political affiliation discrimination. So that's something that we need to be talking to our legislators about.
It's beyond that. They say white people are evil. We're blocking them in these new videos that Veritas has. Great point. You're taking over straight ahead on the other side. Then the War Room's coming up in 45 minutes with our own Owen Schroyer, Infowars.com/show. What an epic time to be alive. At least we're fighting back against these scumbags, though. Break up Google, break up Twitter, break up Facebook.
Rob Dew here with Infowars.com. You are listening to the 4th hour of Overdrive. And I just want to go over a few things before I bring up my guest, who's been a victim of this Facebook censorship that is now going to be hitting everybody in the country who doesn't agree with Cyborg Zuckerberg. And I even want to read some of his statement, which we'll read throughout the hour. And but first, yesterday, bombshell, undercover video, Twitter engineers admit censoring conservatives. And it comes out on the video that they're calling people S-H-I-T-T-Y people. Right there, we're trying to get the S-H-I-T-T-Y people not to show up. It's a product thing we're working on. So that comes out into the news. And then what happens a few hours later? Trump derides protections from immigrants from S-H-I-T whole countries. Right there. And who is it from? Do we have Do we have people in the meeting? No. It is according to people familiar with the reactions of the people who were in the meeting. Total BS, but it creates enough cover to stop people from looking at this story. They effectively killed this story. The mainstream media killed this Twitter story by doing this and turned this into Trump is a racist, Trump is bad. Now Trump comes out and denies it. He said the language used by me at the DACA meeting was tough, but it was not the language used. That was not the language used. It was really tough, and it's a big setback. So basically, he's denying it now. But here's an interesting article from Kit Daniels. State Department warns avoid travel to SHIT whole countries. And it's talking about Haiti. It's so bad. It's talking about countries in Africa. Do not travel to the Central African Republic. Probably El Salvador. I don't know if El Salvador's on here, but Norway's not on this list. And, you know, Trump probably had the prime minister of Norway in. They were talking about all kinds of things the last few days. And that's probably why he mentioned Norway. I don't think it had anything to do with being racist. But here's the other things they want to keep you from looking at. Check this out. Oh, 90% of workers are likely to see more money in paycheck next month. The U.S. Treasury and the IRS put out a new guidance withholding tables for employers that incorporate changes of the new tax law. Under those new tables, that's why Trump signed it before Christmas. The Treasury estimates 90% of the people who get a paycheck are likely to see more take-home pay. So employers have till February 15th to incorporate the new changes. So 90% of workers, people out there busting their butts in this economy, are going to see more take-home pay. I know Nancy Pelosi says it's not that much because she's a multimillionaire. She takes your money and spends it on whatever she wants. She sucks you dry and goes, oh, it's a pittance to the people. Watching her make those comments, disgusting. And here's what else they want to hide. Strongest holiday sales since Great Recession, up 5.5%, topping industry's forecast. They thought it'd be about between $678 billion and $682 billion. It was $691.9 billion, nearly $700 billion spent. And that was retailers for the holiday season. And all this, the Twitter story done by Project Veritas, great job. I can't wait to see what they drop on Monday. Of course, it'll be ignored, or they'll come up with some other fake Trump story. This is going to be great. This is going to come out as fake news again. But yesterday, we had Facebook put out on their newsfeed, FYI, bringing people closer together, right? They think it's about sharing opinions with people. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's about killing content providers. That's what it's about. And they put it on this lovely smile face where Zuckerberg walks around and smiles at you and has everybody in virtual reality glasses, and he's smiling because he's not in them, and he just walks around. Yeah, you people are scum. I'm going to dominate you. I'm going to dominate you. Our big focus areas for 2018 is making sure the time we all spend on Facebook is time well spent. We built Facebook to help people stay connected and to bring us closer together with the people that matter to us. That's why we've always put friends and family at the core of the experience. Research shows that strengthening our relationships improves our well-being and happiness. Happiness is a emotion I don't think Mark Zuckerberg has. It's all fake. He really wants to dominate you. And I'm going to go to my next guest. Actually, he's going to be with us for the rest of the hour. Jason Fick. He's a guy who's worked Facebook to make money for himself. And then because he didn't want to play ball and because he started promoting Republican candidates in the last election, he started having his pages taken away. And it's ramping up. He sent me this last night, this news feed, and I read this. I said, this is the death of Facebook. They're basically going to kill themselves with this move. They're going to start censoring hardcore. It's going to be overt. It's going to be everywhere. And it's going to hit everybody. And by doing that, people are going to leave Facebook. So, Jason, what do you make of that analysis after reading what we heard from Comrade Zuckerberg?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on, Rob. Obviously, we've been talking about this for months, you and I. I guess it was, what, 3 or 4 months, like 3 months ago, give or take. Mm-hmm. And I predicted all of this, every single thing that was coming out. I've been in this for close to, I guess, 7 years now. I watched the rise and fall of it. And obviously, Facebook has changed so dynamically over the years. We've gotten to a point where, you know, at first it was a free-for-all. Anybody could say anything, and it was honestly a lot of fun back in those days. Then what happened is that, and I think that this was what caused the change, is that they realized that the individual voice is very loud, that people talk amongst themselves, especially like conservatives these days. We're talking amongst each other, and we use this as a town square to be able to present ideas to our own, peers and so forth. Well, I think along the way, they realized the strength of that is very scary. They don't want people to be able to talk amongst themselves because we can organize. And as soon as you start to get into a situation where they organize, they realize they had to gain control of that. I know I'm just sort of giving you the back, like the inside way that this works. When they gain control of essentially what people were talking about, they gain control of how the minds work of the individuals. This is essentially what mainstream media is trying to do, is they're showing you this over here, but they really want you to pay no attention to this over here. It's the bait and switch thing. You guys were just talking about that. But your analysis is right. They are, and I had said this for a number of years, is that they took out all of the good content. They tried to turn themselves into a news network, which, in my opinion, bit them in the ass.
Yeah,
they
backfired.
Literally, had they let it just be memes and funny stuff, nobody would have paid attention. It would have buried all of this stuff. Now what they've done is they have mobilized so many people, and this is the danger. And I'm going to tell you, I can forecast Facebook. It won't ever go away. It won't collapse by what you said. It's not like it's just going to go bankrupt and disappear. That I don't see happening. It's too big. But what I do see happening is people are now getting tired of it. They're going, no, this is, I'm not going to be forced ideas that I don't believe in. And the people at Facebook don't understand that that's what they're doing to their customers.
They're telling people what to think. We're about to go to break. We're about to go to break. This is what's happening right now. They are trying to guide it, and they tried it in this election with Hillary Clinton, and it didn't work. And now they're going, well, we're going to ban everybody from talking. We're not going to let anybody talk unless it's about their stupid cat. We'll be right back with Jason Fick, a social media entrepreneur insider who is basically trying to warn people about what's been happening with Facebook. And it's coming. It's coming down the pike. But I love it. I think it's great.
Touch it.
All right, we are live. We are live here at the 4th hour. And look, this Facebook censorship is nothing new, all right? But they have literally written their own obituary, and I'm going to get to that. But here, back in 2011, one of our own reporters here, Darren McBreen, was sent an email by the Facebook team not to post his political viewpoints. So back in 2011, they didn't want you talking about politics. And here's what part of the email said. Be careful making political statements on Facebook, McBreen was told in the email. Facebook is about building relationships, not a platform for your political viewpoint. Unless you're a scum-sucking liberal socialist, then, hey, say whatever you want. Don't antagonize your base. Be careful and cognizant, which they spelled wrong, of what you are preaching. And then we have, a few years later, Facebook CEO caught discussing the censorship of anti-migrant posts at United Nations Development Summit Saturday while speaking with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. She's like, you must make them stop talking about the migrants. And he says, we're going to do some work on that. We're going to work on it. Okay, the hot mic caught him. Okay, we have him working with China, censoring people. And then here's his obituary right here. He wrote his own obituary. A lot of people do that. A lot of famous people like to write their own obituaries. Well, here it is right here. And here at the bottom, I will read it in Mark Zuckerberg voice. Now, I want to be clear. By making these changes, I expect the time people spend on Facebook and by some measures of engagement will go down. But I expect the time you do spend on Facebook will be more valuable. And if we do the right thing, I believe that it will be good for our community and our businesses in the long term, too. Okay? Basically, what he's doing, he's going to kill the news feeds. Something that they touted. Oh, hey, we're going to be bringing you news. We're going to be bringing you news. There he is right there, Cyborg Zuckerberg. And then we have this. Hacked emails show Eric Schmidt played crucial role in Team Hillary's election. So you got Google and Facebook basically teaming up against the entire American populace to put Hillary Clinton in the presidency, and they failed. And why did they fail? They failed because you out there, people out there spread videos. People out there went to protests. People out there took their phones, hopefully horizontally, and shot video. And people did it over and over again, and we didn't stop, okay? And Donald Trump's not perfect. He's going to do some things we don't like, but he's leagues better than Hillary Clinton and what she would be doing right now. We would never be under the out from over the globalist thumb if we had Hillary Clinton. Jason, your comments on what I just said. I want you, and I also want you to talk about how they started hitting you in 2012, and then
yeah, I was actually about to do that.
yeah, it just they've been attacking you for a while, so you're used to this. This is nothing new to you. But for the rest of the people out there, it's all about to end. If you have any sort of income coming from Facebook, it's all about to go away if you're a content creator. Go ahead, Jason.
Here is the biggest mistake, okay? So 2012, right? We'll rewind. You said 2011, don't go over your political views. 2012, I had a page that was specifically, it was anti-Obama. I didn't want him in there, right? So on the eve of the election, 1 million fans gets deleted. Coincidence? No, I don't think so.
Payback.
Now, they shut my opinion up.
Exactly.
That's what they did. And the funny thing is that, I had an opinion back then, but I shut up because I couldn't afford to lose my income stream. So I got out of politics entirely, and I went down the meme road, and just entertaining people. Then they decided that the meme road wasn't, sufficient. We don't like that either. So let's make it a news network. And then the news network managed to actually put Trump into office because they screwed up on actually how big a wave that they would get out of the conservative views. Trump gets into office and they go, man, nothing's worked. Let's just shut Facebook off. That's basically what he just said.
Yeah.
We're going to shut it off. Well, nobody's going to keep coming there if there's nothing to see. And think of it in this analogy, right? And this is the easiest way to understand this. Think of it like your favorite TV, channel, the whole channel, right? The channel has shows on it. The shows are interesting. Do you go on it to watch the commercials?
No, nobody does.
Right? Nobody. Now, if you take away all of the popular shows, which they actually do on most channels, it's amazing. Like Boston Legal, it was a top-grossing show, but it was the wrong demographic. So they killed it, and it was an amazing show. If you start killing shows, eventually you have too many commercials. Well, my feed is almost every other thing is a sponsored something, video, ad, whatever. Now, I don't care how effective your search criteria is and how much that I like this or I like that. It doesn't matter. I don't want to see buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, and I can't see anything else. I literally refresh my feed and I see the same things I already saw just then. So the same videos that I was already shared, I'm seeing them again. Then I'm seeing videos of stuff I don't even want to see. I see stuff I'm even blocked on. Now, that was 2012. They shut 1 million fans down. It was kind of one of those, wow, I just got beaten up by them. But nobody cared because Obama made office and none of the news networks cared. So I sort of went forward. The whole nation didn't know. And this is legitimately what the turn of the social media tide is exactly what I'm about to explain to you. Nobody knew because nobody understood social media. They don't understood the power of it. They don't understand what an individual voice is. Well, the social media company, Facebook and Twitter and so forth, they caught on quicker than obviously the rest of the people because it's their job. They started stifling people's voice as it grew and it got bigger and bigger over the years. And I didn't want to be the one that went out there and said, there's a couple of revelations, obviously, you and I have talked. There's some things that I've done that are monumental and nobody even knows because I didn't want to be the figurehead because I knew that they would just take me down. So ultimately, this voice that we created, they kept like crushing it down, and then they had algorithms that actually catch words. And then if you use the wrong words, now they originally built that because people were saying like and share this. So if it said like, share, and comment, it pretty much crushed your reach instantly. There are so many things that you just can't do that they just decided. Well, fast forward, 2016 rolls along. Sure enough, they shut down 14 million of my fans. 14 million. Those ones, oh, whoa, now we got a big problem because they didn't want Trump in there. And they did their best. Yeah, well, yeah. Catastrophic loss.
Yeah, we're showing some of your feed right now, how it just drops off to nothing.
Now they would tell you, and this, like he said, they put this nice smile and they they put the felt glove over the hammer
as they're hitting you in the face.
Yeah, and they say to you, oh, nobody really wants to see your stuff. Well, I was on the rise there, and then there's this catastrophic loss. Where did it go? It was simple as this. They don't want people to see what they actually want to see. They don't want you to see it.
No.
So the thing is that they now, what the problem is, and it's kind of like critical mass. They have hit a point where guys like me that were in the industry, we knew this 5 years ago. We knew it was coming. And like I had to talk to you about, I started to back out of the whole Facebook game because, and the social media game, that game is dead. And when that dies, when people cannot survive on there and the content there isn't enough content for everybody to be able to see, you will have all commercials. And when you have all commercials, guess what happens?
People leave. Yeah.
Exactly.
People leave. People stop going to it. And so it's a self-implosion. They're self-immolating right now, which I kind of celebrate. I'm glad Facebook is going to die because, hey, they even admit spending too much time on there is bad for you. Facebook does that. They have social scientists and sociologists literally trying to figure out how to make you depressed and hate yourself. So we'll be right back with our final segment of the 4th hour of Overdrive. Thanks for watching. Infowars.com/show is the live stream you need to send out to everybody you know, and do it. Don't wait for Facebook to do it. Paul Watson has a new video out. I believe it's called The Truth of SHIT Holes, or SHI Holes. And he also put this tweet out. Haiti versus Dominican Republic. Same island. One is an S-hole, one is nice. This is about poverty and crime. It has nothing to do with race. And then Michael Zerman replied to it. Look at these two photos. One's from the Dominican and one's from Haiti. Boom. Very true. I took both these photos on the same island. Go back to what he's saying there. But look at that. Wow. Can you guess which country is Haiti? And there you go. The State Department calls these same places S-holes. But we're not supposed to do it, and the president can't do it. And now Facebook and Twitter and everybody want to shut the president down. They don't want him talking. They don't want people who like the president talking. They tried to do it in 2015, 2016. It failed. And now my next guest, he's going to tell you, my guest here, Jason Fick, is going to tell you what they're going to do next because it's not going to end. This doesn't end. This is going to be a little bit of a battle as Facebook dies and tries to choke the life out of you as they're dying. So, Jason, tell us what's coming up with Facebook and what are they going to do next?
Okay, so there's a couple things in here. You made a statement about, it's good to see Facebook die. Facebook shouldn't die. I mean, it really is a good platform for everybody. But one thing that I would say directly to Mark Zuckerberg and to the upper staff of Facebook is that realize one of the problems you have right now is you've hit critical mass. Too many people know that you're screwing them, that you're just shutting them down. That won't work. We are going to push back. They said that about the NFL. That didn't work out so well for them, did it? I said, but I want you guys to, and I said this to you, Rob, last night, is I want everybody to understand where we're at right now is, and I warned you and I told a number of people this months ago, that they were going to shut the president down. Now, they claimed, on Twitter that it went down for 10 minutes and it was a rogue situation, but they always test everything first. Just let that sink in. But more so in James O'Keefe's, and I got to commend him.
Yeah.
Excellent job, sir. Excellent.
Story of the year already in January.
In his video, nobody's paying attention to the words when he says that they are discussing shutting the president down. All of the other stuff is obviously amazing content, but that in itself is that, let this sink in. A guy at Twitter who sits behind a keyboard,
unelected,
has the ability to shut down the president of this country.
Right. It's amazing.
That is not power that he should have.
No, not at all.
And this has nothing to do with First Amendment. This has nothing to do with private companies. This has nothing to do with your CDA. This has to deal with too much power is in the social media's hands. And I've been trying to get this information to the, basically to the president's office. I've been speaking with Roger Stone about this, and he caught on immediately. This is probably the biggest problem in the United States right now.
Yeah, because if they can cut off communication, it's over. 2020 is going to be over.
Well, the thing is that most congressmen and most upper government that has never had a ban. They don't understand that when a ban happens on Facebook, you can't talk to people. They shut down your communication.
Right. They
literally shut your messaging off. And now they messaging is tied in with your SMS, so they could actually turn off your SMS. There is way too much reach on social media, way too much. And the reality is that it doesn't matter about guys like me. It doesn't even matter about Alex Jones or you. The reality is that the nation has caught on. Too many people have realized it. Now we've hit critical mass. This is the point at which the nation's going to push back and say, no, this isn't okay. I don't like being told what I'm supposed to think, what I'm supposed to say, who I'm supposed to talk to, and how they can shut down my president. We voted him in there. We want to keep him there.
Yeah, exactly. And now you've been talking with some people inside Facebook because you're not intimately involved with Facebook, but like creating things, being a content creator, actually bringing people to Facebook. You've been instrumental in doing that. So what are you hearing on the inside? This is an inside exclusive.
So here is some information. There are people within Facebook. There's a war going on because Facebook is not 100% liberal. Not everybody in there believes in what they're doing. So you've got this internal war. But again, people don't want to lose their jobs. They make very good livings. But the reality is that they also are talking to people on the outside world going, there's things going on with Facebook. Well, what I have heard is, and this is coming from inside of Facebook, Facebook is terrified of having Mark Zuckerberg going before Congress because, and this is, as it was told to me, is that as awkward as he seems online, he is 10 times more awkward in real life because as much as he owns and operates and built a social network, he doesn't understand what it is to socialize. The guy doesn't even understand what it's like to be middle class.
Right.
He's gone right from college to billionaire. I mean, and if Mark Zuckerberg's watching this, understand something. You could be a legacy here. Forget the negatives of this. You want to do positive, give it back to the people. There were hundreds of thousands of people that were being employed by Facebook. Hundreds of thousands of them. Moms that were sitting at home that couldn't go to work because they had 3 children and they were making $500 a week entertaining. And you took that away from everyone. So, I would say the same thing. Trump, Mr. Trump, if you want to get jobs back, force this to happen. Force it. Because what's going to happen is those hundreds of thousands of people that lost their jobs, to give it back over to the sponsorships and the corporations and everybody else that's huge, they took it away from everyone. And yes, I get it. It's a private company. But the reality is maybe it's time to start changing monopoly laws to incorporate this kind of stuff. Maybe it's time to start changing legislation. And maybe that's actually what's happening.
And, I don't hear conservatives calling for censorship of anyone's ideas. They may not like their ideas, and they may say, here's my argument against it. But I rarely hear conservatives saying, we can't have this person talking about this. We can't have this person. You only see the liberals getting up in arms going, you can't say this country's an asshole. You can't say this. You can't say the word retarded. They always want to throw these things out and couch these things. Hey, you can't say the word TRANNY on Facebook anymore, or they will call you personally and say, remove your video or we're going to pull it. That's what they do. But if you are a TRANNY, you can say that word all day long. It's okay. You're part of the protected class.
It's a massive, actually, in fact, and I don't know if you guys can show this because it's pretty graphic, but if you can pull up the graphic on, it's from, and ironically, Pocahontas. It was a post that we did, and I was banned for it. It was Pocahontas, and they claimed it was racist. It was a screenshot from Disney, and it was the line from Disney. Like, it came straight from Disney. Now, if you can focus in on that, the Pocahontas one got me banned. And the scene below it of the mutilated baby was on a Muslim site As you can see, I reported it, and it came back that that was acceptable for Facebook.
Wow.
Now, you want to tell me that there's no double standard there, that Pocahontas from a screenshot is racist, and then a mutilated baby is okay? Now, and just from a parent standpoint, and I want to talk to all the parents in this country that have their kids on Facebook. If my kids saw that, I wouldn't have any problem with it. If my kids saw a dead, mutilated baby, I would be horrified. The problem is there's a double standard throughout Facebook, and that is what I think that Malkin, if you want to shut everybody down, okay, fine, but shut everybody down. Don't shut conservatives down and not liberals down. Don't shut down one idea and not the other. Shut it all down.
Right.
Close the doors on everything. Make it, everybody's sitting there saying it's a First Amendment argument. It's not about First Amendment. It's about It's about the fact that if you're going to instill rules as a private company or even a publicly traded company, let those rules be identical for everybody.
It's about all the things they preach. We're going to level the playing field. We're going to make it all even, unless you don't have the idea or opinion that we approve of. Jason, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. I know you've been, I don't even know if you want to get into this, but your home in Pennsylvania has burnt to the ground since you started talking about this.
It didn't burn all the way to the ground, but let's put it this way. I'm going to be out of my house for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
There is an investigation going on right at the moment because a fuel line happened to break on my heater, which is kind of an uncommon thing. And not only that, but people say, well, maybe somebody bumped it. No, we were gone. We had been gone for 3 weeks. And
that's what happens when you speak out.
When you start pushing back,
they push back even harder. That's why we got to stand up. We got to stand up. We're out of time. Jason, thank you for joining us, Jason Fick. Hey, don't forget, we got some great deals at InfoWarsStore.com. X2, Super Male Vitality, Alpha Power, Secret 12, Real Red Pill, all 50% off. Go to InfoWarsStore.com right now. Support us so we can help you. Thanks for watching.
This program contains language and sequences some viewers may find disturbing.
The nation and all of our freedoms hang by a thread, and the military apparatus of this country is about to be handed over to scum who are beholden to scum. Russian scum!
Listen. Please, listen. If you don't, if you won't, if you fail to understand, then the same incredible terror that's menacing me will strike at you!
The function of all life is survival. Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Lock the door! Lock the door!
They're coming! They're coming! Help! Help! They're coming! They're coming! Listen to me! Listen! Help me! You're next, please! Please! You're next! They're in danger! Please, listen to me! Something terrible! Please! You're next! Here they are! They're already here! Come! You're next! They're coming! They're coming!
Sleep. The seed is planted. Sleep. Sleep. Terror grows. Sleep.
Elizabeth, wake up! Get you when you sleep! Sit up!
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
All of a sudden, they're growing like parasites. Is it contagious?
Trump, free all the homies.
It looked right at me. You need to get out.
You're looking at it as if it was human. It was not human.
Now, the classic fear begins to grow.
We're being cornered.
In a modern masterpiece of science fiction.
They're barricading the street.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
The land of the walking dead!
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the Resistance. It's Alex Jones.
As the InfoWars family of listeners and viewers know, we are always researching and bringing you the very cutting edge of high-quality products. And that's especially true when it comes to nutraceuticals and supplements. We know that our modern environment is bombarding our guts with all sorts of toxins and heavy metals and pesticides, herbicides that basically kill the good flora. We have been working for several years with top researchers in the United States to bring you 3 new, top-of-the-line, affordable probiotics that are true game changers. Now, the first is a digestive enzyme that I'm extremely excited about. All of us know that if you eat a lot of meat and a lot of protein, and you don't chew it properly, sometimes there's buildup. You can even rot inside your guts, causing diverticulitis, you name it. You don't get the good micronutrients that are in it as well. Well, Carnivore from InfoWars Life, ladies and gentlemen, is the next level of digestive enzyme. And when you take it combined with the new Flora Life that I'm going to break down here in a moment, and also the everyday Flora Life maintenance, they synergistically work together. The globalists are bombarding our gut. They know it's the key to taking control of civilization and society. It is the true Trojan horse. And whether it's our new digestive enzyme, Carnivore, or whether it's the new Flora Life Advanced Restoration or the Flora Life Everyday Maintenance, it is critical for you and your family to have healthy guts, and it is undoubted that there are serious benefits from proven high-quality probiotics. There are some similar formulas out there that are at least 3 times the cost of this. And people think because they're paying more, it must be the best. That's not my philosophy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm bringing you something that is the very best from our deep research, working with top developers, scientists, and experts in the field at the lowest price. But whether you take 1, 2, or all 3, I have never experienced the type of energy and the type of digestive ease and the changes that I went through in the last few months going on this formula before we brought it to you. We believe from working with top experts in the United States that we have developed the very best probiotic and digestive enzyme for breaking down protein and meat that there is. This is the total win-win. It uses the modern techniques as well, so it doesn't have all the additives and garbage. Simply put, our new Flora Life line is the very best out there. That is my goal here, is to bring you the very best at the lowest price. Many probiotics out there don't even have caplets that bypass the stomach, so it never even gets into the upper and lower intestines. Both of these systems have targeted delivery, so it goes right through into the upper and lower intestine. We've tried several other formulas that were excellent, but this is, after 2 years of research, what we are bringing to the market. And your purchase doesn't just give you better digestive health and all the different micronutrients and things you need. It also funds an organization dedicated to promoting liberty worldwide. Whether it's Flora Life Advanced Restoration, Carnivore, digestive enzyme, or the everyday maintenance that's great for the go, it's all available at InfoWarsStore.com today. And when you purchase it, you know you are also financing the attack on the globalists and the defense of our republic and freedom worldwide.